The first and only stop for the ASRS Sim Marketing Solutions Cup Series stops on the west coast of the Auto Club Speedway, located in the state of California. And we are just about, 20 miles away from Hollywood. Mr. Peter Short is up here in the booth with me here tonight, along with Carlos Acosta back in the production truck as the sun sets at the famed Auto Club Speedway, one of the oldest pavements on the NASCAR schedule. Peter, Auto Club's a 2-mile D-shaped oval. Tell me about this joint.
Well, yeah, Tanner, this is one of the fastest tracks because it is such a long track at 2 miles long. But tonight we have the new package. This is the first race for the Sim Marketing Solutions Cup Series, guys, with this new package. So we're going to see some restrictor plate-esque type racing here on this track tonight. And it's been pretty interesting to see that track temperature is only 68 degrees Fahrenheit, but it has actually looked pretty slick in practice for these drivers. So, it's a pretty bumpy track. It's a fairly old surface. There's not a lot of banking here. And sometimes it can lead to, some slick racetracks. So we're going to keep an eye on that here tonight as the sun goes down.
14 degrees of bankings in the corner of the track. We got a bumpy front straightaway and a bumpy back straightaway. It should be an interesting combination for these guys to really go on, especially with this new 2019 package. And it's going to be very challenging because we don't know what to expect. Is it going to be pack racing off the bat? Are they going to spread out? We're not entirely sure, but we're going to find out here pretty soon. But before we can find all that information out, let's go over point standings. Jared Mogard has been on a roll in this series, on this side of the ASRS series, with 3 wins, 4 top 5s, and 5 top 10s, 187 points to his total. Will Worsler is one of those fast guys who just gained 3 spots from the last race back in Daytona. He is 144 points, so that's 43 points behind the point leader right now. Alan Young, third in points with 136. Mitchell Brown, 135 points in fourth. Corey Silva, 130 points. Michael Krobach, 6th in points with 128. 7th, Evan Black with 123 points. Tim Knott, 114 points. In 8th and 9th place, Alexander Pelican with 110 points. Danny Rogers running off the top 10 in points with 109 points. That's 78 points back from the point leader of Mogard. And some guys who have been outside looking in, Brad Cross, who actually lost points, 4 spots at last race in Daytona. He's 12th in points with 100 points, and he's tied with Jim Foose at 12th spot right now. Jim Foose has been actually trying to climb himself up into the rankings. But that's the point standings. And how confident are you entering this race, Peter, since you got the package out here, the new package? Lap times are relatively close. Do you think track position is still going to be key with this new package?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I think track position is even more important, getting a good qualifying lap and being out front. Watching these cars out there in practice, they're definitely in packs for, an X number of laps. Didn't quite get to see a long run out there, but definitely at the start of the run, all these drivers were in packs. So I think getting a good qualifying position, starting out front, maybe being ahead of a possible melee. I mean, we don't talk about the big one at tracks, tracks other than Talladega and Daytona, but with this new package and the big pack racing that I have seen in practice, it could be really important to avoid what could be a big one now at Auto Club. So I think there is definitely going to be an emphasis on qualifying tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. As drivers are going through the drivers meeting right now, as they sit on pit road, just kind of going over the rules and such. And speaking of rules, we do have a couple new rules that have been added and eliminated that were announced within the last 2 weeks since Daytona. Tell us about them new rules here, Peter.
Well, yeah, the primary rule that's been eliminated was the 13 incident point rule. Earlier this season, all these drivers had a 13-point incident limit in a race, and now that has been removed, and now they're looking more at a racecraft-esque type penalty system. So they're going to be rating these drivers based on their racecraft and seeing if there's any racing that is deemed poor racecraft or something of the sort, because they've had a couple drivers out there this year who have fallen victim to the 13 incident point limit and it hasn't been really of their own doing. So that's been kind of unfortunate. I think Jim Foose, league owner, has seen that. We're moving towards a racecraft post-race kind of review style, and I think that's a great way forward for the league as we go on. And earlier this year we did introduce the blue cone rule. The blue cone rule was basically At the restart, you had to get around to the blue cone, which is typically on the back stretch of the track before causing a yellow, or else you'd have, repercussions of it. That has been removed. Kind of just, like I said, focusing more on post-race inspections of drivers' racecraft. And, I think that's a good move for the league because, things happen on a racetrack. You can get incident points one way or another, but it's definitely rough when you get those incident points out of your own doing and get kicked from the race.
Yeah, a lot of information there, a lot of great information there, everything you just explained there, Peter. But it should not change the racing that's going to happen out there. We do have that new rules package. I have no idea what you expect. To me, it's going to be unexpected, but what do you think is going to happen? Are we going to see some pack racing, or are we going to see these guys really fan out as the run goes on? Because it seems like what iRacing is trying to do is trying to get the same rules package of what NASCAR does, get that same package in here. And we see at Las Vegas early in the season where guys at the start of the green flag run, everybody's in one big pack. As that green flag went on, everybody split up. Are we going to see the same thing here?
See, the ASRS Sim Marketing Solutions Cup Series is a fixed series, a fixed setup lead. Man, I cannot talk tonight.
It's fixed.
It is a fixed setup series. That's kind of a tongue twister there. So I don't expect them to fan out quite as much as you saw maybe at the NASCAR race at Las Vegas, because you had a lot of different cars and a lot of different setups and so on and so forth. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see a lot of pack racing here tonight, as you see some of these drivers out there on track taking time. Brandon Stokes in the number 9 currently sitting atop the board until Michael Krobot hits the line in the 72. And like I said, all these drivers, I've noticed that similar to at a super speedway, a lot of those drivers will run a higher line on their first lap and then drop it down to the bottom for their faster lap. As you see Scott Smith here, he's on an outlap in that number 21 machine, so going to keep an eye on him. He ran a little bit higher line through turns number 3 and 4 to get that momentum up as he dives off into turn number 1. Going to go all the way down to that white line, and I noticed in practice some drivers were flirting with that white line to kind of loosen up the car, and it was working for some drivers and not so much others. Wow, Evan Black, Corey Silver, those two teammates jumped to the top of the board.
Speaking of going below the white line, that's really beneficial down in turns 3 and 4, but sometimes it can get really hairy down there, unlike real life. I did not see Scott Smith, as it's on screen right now, utilize that apron whatsoever, and Smith is actually going to get 16th currently. Right now, here's Steve Bahula, as I think it's going to be the start of his outlap.
See, right on board with the number 43. And do want to note that we had 37 cars take time tonight. We only will have 36 starters, but the number 14 of Chris Forster was the one driver who will not be entering this race unless one of the other drivers who was already pre-qualified does not show up. Currently don't have a count on number of entries, so going to have to keep an eye on whether or not the 14 of Forster will start this event, but in our pre-qualifying session, that number 14 didn't quite make the automatic berth into this one, so going to have to keep an eye on that, as Steve Buhala still out there in that number 43 Maxwell Chevrolet. It's a really good-looking car, and you see on the back there that a little bit taller spoiler. It's they have a little acrylic strip right there on the top of the spoiler, and that's going to add some extra downforce to these cars and definitely slow them down. I mean, Buhala's going off into turn number 1 at 183 miles an hour, 184 there briefly, and you and I know, Tanner, that that's much, much slower than what you could achieve with the last package here at Auto Club, because I think you could go off into turn number 1 at well over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, typically you could reach up to 210 miles an hour as you enter turn 1, but you really kind of have to back it down, depending upon how you're arcing the corner too. Looks like I'm getting word that the 14 car has made the show. That was Chris Forster, so he does make the show for tonight's event. But here at Auto Club, I will be driving it here tonight or tomorrow night, here for the Impossible League at the Auto Club Speedway. So I guess these guys can say that they're going to take me to school tonight on how to, what's the best line around this joint. What would be the best line around this joint? Not necessarily sure, because qualifying trim is always going to be different than race trim. Usually in qualifying trim, like you said, Peter, will be the inside row. Race trim, I mean, there's multiple grooves here for racing. It's a nice wide open racetrack. This is one of the racetracks where I'd say there's no excuse if you get into somebody, because it's so wide.
Oh yeah, definitely. Auto Club is one of the widest tracks on the iRacing service, and one thing that is really nice is, you say that you can run down there on that white line, but as the run goes on, as the handling of the car changes, because the track is so wide, you can actually move around, find a little bit different of a line to help your car, whether it's tight or whether it's loose. You might be able to run up a little bit higher to change how your car behaves off the corner. As you see Will Wurzler come to the line, he's been a fast qualifier so far this season, but that is one of the nicest things about Auto Club, is you can kind of just try a little bit different line to change how your car handles, because right here coming out of turn number 2, the track kind of narrows up if you're down there on the bottom, just with how you exit that corner. So you have a tendency to get loose there, as you can see that 29 go over all those bumps on the back stretch. But if you have a good handling race car, typically you're going to be right down there on the white line.
That being said, we should maybe talk a little bit about our pole sitter currently, Evan Black. So far, I'm only counting 23 drivers that have really made a qualification time. Evan Black is one of them, but he's had a couple dismal finishes here in the Cup Series side of things. Worst finish, 26th. Best finish, 25th. That came at Pocono and Daytona, which were the last 2 races. Otherwise, he was top 10 in every single race. He's hoping to turn his luck around here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway. Hopefully he's able to stay on the pole and keep that track position, and as well as Corey Silva, who's had a couple dismal finishes. He's looking to turn things around here tonight. And of course, we cannot forget about Jared Mogard, who's currently 3rd on qualification grid. He's been fast in every single race, and so far there's no stopping him. Hopefully maybe one of these drivers can step up to the plate and maybe challenge that 00 machine, but Jared at times can get caught off guard. We'll see how it all plays out here tonight. As I look through the qualifying grid, one driver I'm particularly surprised that's not anywhere near inside the top 20 is Jim Foose. His lap times are not anywhere near as everybody else, but again, race trim is always going to be different than practice and qualifying. So look forward to seeing Jim Foose closer up towards the front as this race will go on here tonight. We're about 2 minutes away from the conclusion of qualification. I'm seeing a lot of drivers not taking a qualification time here this evening. Troy Haight, surprisingly, is not one of them. I don't even think he's in the session. There's quite a few drivers in here I'm not seeing right now. So 13 drivers I'm counting that's not qualified so far.
Yeah, I think Troy Haight had a penalty from the last Premier Series race that he's having to take here tonight. But one thing I wanted to note was Evan Black up there at the top of the board. He did what you do at a super speedway for his qualifying lap time. He ran the top on his out lap and his first lap. He ran right up there by the wall and only jumped down to the bottom of the racetrack for his second qualifying lap. And he actually picked up a ton of time on his second qualifying lap. So I'm wondering, I kind of said it earlier, that you're starting to see some of these drivers do what they typically would at a super speedway here at Auto Club. And Evan Black did that, and he's top of the board by 0.08 of a second over his teammate, Corey Silva. So really impressive by Evan Black to run that lap time. I mean, Jared Mogard nipping at their heels. Mogard, of course, getting 3 Cup Series wins already this year, and Andy Veltman in the 97. Good qualifying run by him. And there's Danny Rogers. And for all those people out there who follow the ASRS series week in, week out, the last time we were out in the Premier Series was with the trucks at Darlington, and Danny Rogers came across the stripe in second place, but after the race, he was promoted to the race winner after Jared Haggerty had a post-race penalty and had to end up actually at the last car on the lead lap, I do believe, in that number 6 machine. So give the W to the 02 at Darlington.
Man, that's very unfortunate. That's almost like sitting in the garage area and watching your car fail post-race inspection, man, and then you got the wind taken away from you. It's very a sickful feeling, but I'm telling you what, you got to leave that behind, and you got to start fresh here tonight and try to get that W.
Oh yeah, and Jared Haggerty, of course, he was one of those drivers who did not take time here, so he'll have to come well back in from the pack to avenge that near win at Darlington.
All right. Well, with everything being said and all the storylines we have developed here, it is go time. So let's go straight to the grid for this evening's event here at the Auto Club Speedway. Evan Black is your pole, sir. Congratulations to Evan Black. He will get the pole here tonight. Hopefully, he can turn things around too as well. Corey Silva is going to start in second, Peter.
Starting on row number 2 is the 00 of Jared Mogard, and starting alongside him in the 97 is Andy Veltman.
In row 3, you got Danny Rogers, who's looking to bounce back after the Darlington race. He's hoping to try to stay up front and get that W. He'll be side by side with Brandon Stokes in 6th.
Starting on row number 4, it's the number 99 of Clarence Bonner, and Chris Forster in the number 14.
In row 5, you got Scott Smith, and running on this top 10 is going to be Steve Vahula.
In the 11th position is the number 29 of Will Worsler, and alongside him in the number 51, Mitch Brown.
Michael Krolbach is going to start in the 13th position with that HPP Simulations Camaro, and he'll be starting side by side with Ty Hester in the Hunt Brothers Pizza Toyota.
On row number 8, the number 35 of Kelsey Rogers, and rolling off alongside him, the number 17 of Richard Stallings.
In row number 9, we got Kevin Sargent and Calvin Miller.
Row number 10, Cody Leland and Nick Curley.
Row number 11, blackjack position, Tyler Sawville, and side-by-side with Jeremy Banning.
Starting in the 23rd position is league organizer Jim Foose in the number 42 machine, and starting alongside him is Sam Maxwell in the Sam Maxwell Customs 4.
In row 13, Jimmy McKee and Alan Young is going on 26th.
Jason Stewart and Troy Haight are on row number 14.
Row 15 consists of Tim Knott and Jared Haggerty trying to get their way to the front.
Jonathan Holstein and Alex Geese are on row number 16.
Row 17, Alexander Pelican and Jack Wells.
And rounding out the field is the 01 of Christopher Lane and Edward Bray. And Alex, if you're listening, I slipped up. I know your name's Geezy. We'll get it right at some point this season. Sorry about that, but getting excited for this one. This should be a really exciting race.
Yes, sir, absolutely. The pace car is turning through turns 3 and 4, and we're going to drop it down the pit road, and it's going to be all Evan Black who's going to consist on this restart. Just don't swap and change your lane right on the start of this event here tonight. Thank you for joining with us. It's Peter Short and Tanner Sharp up here in the booth, talking about the race here and doing some commentary as Carlos Acosta's back in the production truck as we're back, and we're going green flag racing here at Auto Club.
Now look at that field. Ooh, there's a little bit of a stack up near the back. Alex Geesey, one of those drivers who had to check up, but up the front, we're pretty much 2 by 2. Evan Black got a good start. He's going to have the 00 of Jared Mogard right in his tracks. His teammate Corey Silva there in the number 94. Gonna back off just a little bit, lose that second position out to Mogard. Here comes Mogard to the outside of that machine. We're 3 wide down the backstretch. Andy Veltman on the high side, the 94, Corey Silva right there in the middle. He's got the number 9 right behind him of Brandon Stokes. Andy Veltman still up there on the high side all by himself, 3 wide for the 3rd position. And here comes the 00 of Mogard up at the front. He's going to pull alongside the number 92. But look at that, Tanner, the 92 down there on that white line. I think he's running a defensive line.
Man, this racing's already intense with this new draft package. Everybody's in one big pack. Nobody has been able to slip away. There's been some bump drafting, and here comes that number 99 machine towards the inside. That is Clarence Bonner. He was going to make it 3 wide. He's just trying to pull off an aggressive move. We got a battle for the lead, and lead change. It looks like it's going to be Jared Mogard as Evan Black still on the inside row. Oh, little loose goes Clarence Bonner on the apron. He's all right as they come across the line, and this time it's Jared Mogard.
Yeah, Mogard got a great push from Stokes that last lap. Was able to push that number 00 to the front. Andy Veltman still in that number 97 running way up the racetrack. trying to find some pace up there and get a run up off the corner, but here comes the number 9 of Stokes underneath the 00 of Mogard. They're going to be side by side for the race lead going down the backstretch.
43, man. Steve Bahula, man, he just wants to back out of this mess. This is like a big old restricted plate race. Something happening to Steve Bahula. He's just trying to back out of it more than likely. Slower than usual than other guys. So far, so good.
I was actually noticing that there was a couple of drivers back in the pack who look like they might just be taking it easy at this point in the race. It seems like there's plenty of time to make your move. This is a 200-mile race tonight, 100 laps. So plenty of time to make your move. Don't want to get caught up in something too early.
I have never seen this at Auto Club Speedway with this draft package. This draft package really showing me something because as Krobach looks towards the inside on the number 29 machine back there, Will Worsler, but the last time by at the start-finish line, the top 12 guys were separated by 7/10 of a second.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see this out here, just like a super speedway race, but kind of just, you know, an added level of an added level of difficulty to a track like Auto Club. Now you're going to be around all these other cars going 180 miles an hour off into these corners as Andy Veltman's moved up into the second position in that Corona number 97. And let me tell you, that highline's been working for Andy Veltman. He started back in the fourth position. He's just been fairly steadfast, just as I say that. He jumps down to the bottom to the inside of Mogard. Looks like he might get a little bit tight down there. I wonder if these tires are wearing just a little bit down there on the bottom, but it seems like the high side's been the place you want to be as that 97 does actually lead the lap. Oh, contact with the race lead! Oh, Mogard hard in the outside wall. The 97 still trying to save it. Mogard still on the outside wall.
How is that not a yellow?
And they're still wrecking in the back.
Caution.
Finally, the caution flag comes out. A couple of drivers involved. Oh man, that happened right up at the front. That's the worst place for an accident to happen. And it sent ripples throughout the field. A couple of drivers with heavy damage throughout the field.
Man, I tell you what, I think that was Veltman's fault on that, because watch this. He had a good run off turn 4. He's racing Mogard for the race lead. Mogard was kind of doing a little side drafting a little bit to try to pull that 97 back. Side by side, he just came up the track, kind of pulled to Danica Patrick there for a moment as carnage just unfolds as they enter turn number 1. Oh, number 14, Chris Forrester involved. That's very unfortunate. Some guys are still trying to avoid this, and now Mogard is starting to look like an SK modified in their early going, and we're just not even 10 laps in. Right here, you see the contact between the two drivers. Man, that contact really shot Veltman towards the inside. Oh, he got rear-ended by the 09 machine there.
Yeah, definitely a hard hit for that number 00, and of course he was looking for his 4th win of the season, but with a damaged car like that, man, I don't think he's going to be able to contend for this one. We'll have to see how much damage he gets repaired. You're right on board with number 29, a little Morsler. You see that all unfolding there behind him. Chris Forrester, who just barely squeaked into this race, he got a big piece of it. That number 14's Toyota engine smoking. He's on pit road to see how much they can fix of that car, but definitely a tough break for Forster there sitting on pit road as all your leaders are coming down pit road.
Yep, this is the first pit stop of the night, and Auto Club, as you know, Peter, does wear out the tires very fast here. The tires do not like this racetrack. They're good tires. We just do bad things to them. That's just how I always say it. As Brandon Stokes is going to be your race leader as he leads them down pit road. Danny Rogers, Mitch Brown, Evan Black, Corey Silva. Yeah,
Kevin Sargent in the 09 also got a huge chunk of damage. That 09's looking like a modified as well, as all your leaders now hitting their pit boxes. It seems like everyone's doing a good job of hitting their marks. Ty Hester in the 36 rolling. The Hunt Brothers Pizza, he's the first one to get rolling. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a strategy call on that number 36 machine.
Coley Leland, I'm getting the report, missed his pit stop. I do not show pit stop time, but Ty Hester takes 2 tires for track position after starting 14th. if you're going to do the two-tire strategy, now's the time to do it, in my opinion, to really kind of test that out. I mean, the track is nice and cool. The track temperature currently is 66 degrees, so the tires do wear out, yes, but it's still, with a cool track temperature, it provides lots of grip in the track for you to maneuver the car. If the sun continuously beats down the car, which is it's not necessarily the case in this setting, then it's going to be hot and slick and slippery.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure these drivers are really excited and glad that it's such a cold track tonight, because it definitely tightens up the race car, prevents it from getting too slippery out there, and it will only tighten up and get more grippy as the sun continues to set.
That being said, let's check out drivers who were just involved in that incident there. Jared Mogart still sits on pit road, and Andy Veltman, I am showing that he is on the racetrack at the moment. Not some serious damage. I'm not really showing a lot of damage on that number 97, with the exception of maybe the right side. Actually, I'm not seeing a whole heck of a lot of damage on Andy Veltman's machine.
Yeah, it seems like that number 97 might have gotten away with that one just a little bit, but definitely a tough break for him. Jared Mogard back out on track with the number 00 modified. It definitely doesn't look any better than it did when it joined pit road, but that's definitely a tough break for him as pace car lights are off. We're getting set to go back to green flag racing. A couple of cars still on pit road currently. Edward Bray in the 66, Alex Geezy are two of those cars still on pit road. Cody Leland is finally got his pit work done.
Let's reset it for you. Ty Hester in the 36 is currently the race leader on 2 right side tires. Everybody else is on 4. Brandon Stokes second, pole sitter Evan Black in third, Mitch Brown fourth, Danny Rogers rounding off the top 5. Corey Silva in 6th, Scott Smith 7th, 8th place Cody Leland. I'm actually not showing him an 8th, so 8th place is actually going to be Kelsey Rogers. 9th place, Clarence Bonner. And rounding off the top 10, Nick Curl in the 45 machine. Pace cars be headed down pit road. Let's see what Hester can do with these 2 right side tires in the Hutt Brothers Pizza Toyota Camry, as he's gunning on the gas, and we're back green flag racing.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what Brandon Stokes can do on those 4 fresh tires versus those 2 tires on that number 36. The number 36 got a great restart, and here comes Evan Black looking to the inside of Brandon Stokes. They're battling side by side now for the 2nd position. I noticed that inside line definitely got a run on the start of the race, and here comes Evan Black. Black's going to dive to the inside of the 36. Now they're side by side for the race lead, halfway down the back stretch.
Man, look at that number 9 Stokes pushing Hester as they enter the corner of turn number 3, doing some bump drafting, not really doing anything to the race car whatsoever. Hester's doing a pretty good job on the 2 right side tires. Just that them guys on the inside row with Black and the 94 machine of Corey Silva, I think those are teammates bump drafting each other as the number 9 machine heads down towards the inside for the draft.
Yeah, they're basically 2 by 2 for the front 10 cars or so. Ooh, Clarence Bonner, I think he clipped the apron just a little bit further back, slid up the racetrack. Now he's in the higher groove. That kind of broke up that 10-car train. Now they're 2 by 2 up at the front, about 3 cars deep. As Ty Hester is still working that high side. 92 Evan Black still sitting out front with help from his teammate Corey Silva there.
Oh, Hester got shuffled high above what he wanted, and here comes the number 9 machine cutting through the middle, slicing and dicing. The clowns to the left and the jokers to the right. Yeah, not anymore, because Hester's on the higher line now, and I think that's the high line that Stokes really wants to get that momentum on the corner exit.
Yeah, it seems like he's been pretty steadfast to that 2nd groove. You can see going through the corners here at Auto Club Speedway that there are seams in the track, and it seems like that number 9 car is running that 2nd seam all the way around the track. That seems to be working out for him as we're 3 wide just behind.
Boy, that 51 machine ain't liking what's happening to him. He's stuck in the middle there. He's not getting the good runs off, and he's got the Krobach on the bottom there, and he's got the 35 machine of Kelsey Rogers. These cats are all over each other.
3 by 3 now for the 2nd place as they work it out here in the corner, but Ty Hester is definitely not backing down in that number 36 machine. He's going to give a bump to the number 9 of Brandon Stokes going down the backstretch, and those two cars are going to lock bumpers like a tandem and push Brandon Stokes to the front here at Auto Club. We'll have to see if Stokes can hold on to this, but definitely that number 36 machine on 2 tires holding tough so far.
Man, Brandon Stokes, everybody's side by side, 3 wide with the exception of the cat out front, and that's Stokes. I tell you what, Hesser's doing a very good job. This is actually some tremendous racing right here. Everybody's on one big pack. I think this aero package is keeping everybody in the league, especially in a fixed setup league or fixed setup race, which means every driver is driving the same exact setup. There is no advantage. You can't change anything on the car.
There's a couple of drivers near the back of the pack who seem to just be riding this one out. One of those being Jason Stewart, Sam Maxwell back there, Alex Giese back there, Steve Buhala. We saw him drop way back earlier in the race. He's still just hanging out back there. They're racing side by side. They're 77 there, Giese underneath Steve Buhala. I think they're just biding their time because up at the front, it really is a hornet's nest.
It's a hornet's nest, and these guys are just all over each other because there's one driver in particular I have been watching since the drop of the green. He's been making some moves to get to the front, and he's almost cracking the top 10, and that's going to be the 01 machine, Christopher Lane. Started 35th, and he's already up to 13th within the first 15 laps. So, I mean, he's making moves here. He's on the inside road now. Oh, got a little squirrely loose there. I'm seeing the 51 machine, getting a report the 51 machine has front end damage. That's Mitch Brown, who's currently in second place.
Yeah, you can see it right there, Tanner. It's got a little bit of a little bit of damage there on the front nose. The number 35, Kelsey Rogers, going to look now down to the inside on that number 51 machine, but he's got no help down there. And it's kind of funny saying that at a track like Auto Club. It seems like that should be something you'd say at a Talladega or Daytona, but he's got no help down there at the bottom. He's just going to slide back to the next car to help him, which would be the 92 of Evan Black. But that number 36 there, Ty Hester, still holding tough on 2 tires right behind Mitch Brown. In fact, Hester's going to peek to the outside here of that number 51. As I think Brown's going to try and go for the race lead. It seems like that was not, you know, what he really wanted to do, but now he's side by side with the 9 of Stokes for the race lead.
Okay, if you looked at Mitch Brown's front end nose, look at Ty N's rear bumper. I guess that's where I'm going to assume that's where Mitch Brown's damage came from.
Yeah,
Hester's doing a great job.
Yeah, those two definitely pushing each other to try and get to the race lead. But that number 51, Brown got a really good run coming out of turn number 4. They're going to be side by side at the stripe. Not quite sure who let that up, but here comes the 99 at clearance bottle up through the middle, all by himself, and Bonner just leapfrogged everyone, moved the 99 to the front. Where did he come from?
Brandon Stokes led that lap by 5/1000ths of a second. He led that lap by over Mitch Brown. So, I mean, it's, ooh, sparks. Somebody hit the wall back there.
I just can't believe that the 99 of Clarence Bonner just split the middle and passed 4 cars. It looked like he was standing, like they were standing still.
He had a good run off turn 2, and right now he's got a good run off turn 4. He's going to slice and dice down here as he is definitely going to officially lead this lap over the number 9 of Stokes. Oh, 9/1000ths of a second he led that one.
That is absolutely crazy. 2 laps have gone by, and we've seen the lead be held by a grand total of 6 to go. Someone blew up.
Legitimately, who was that?
Trying to see who that was.
That was 92 of Evan Black, I could have sworn.
That's what it looked like to me, but it looks like that machine is still under power. So not quite sure what happened there. Maybe a graphical glitch. Oh yeah, you can see it there in the corner. It is the number 92 of Evan Black. So not quite sure what was up with that, but he seems to be under power. We'll have to keep an eye on that one as that number 92 machine is currently running in the 7th position. So potential for problems for Evan Black at this point in the race.
Tires are smoking, sheet metal's dragging, and we're still racing.
Ooh, Brandon Stokes got a terrible run coming out of turn number 2. I think he actually had to get out of the throttle to not hit the wall. That stacked at the high line, and here comes the number 35 of Kelsey Rogers looking through the middle to try and get that now 3rd position away from Brandon Stokes, and he indeed will clear him. But Clarence Bonner's out front, all by himself, and it was really impressive to see him get up to the front like he did, and now he seems to be running away with it, which is somewhat impressive.
Well, we did talk about the top of the show. In the NASCAR race back at Vegas. I mean, it was pack racing for the first however how many laps, and then eventually they split up. Right now, it's the race leader who's breaking away from the pack. This is the first time we've seen it all night. It's practically a battle from second place on back, which is the aggressiveness of the pack racing itself. So, as this run goes on, we will see as, man, look at Stokes bum drafting Kelsey Rogers up towards the front there for second spot. But let's see, give it another 10 to 20 laps. Let's see if this mid-pack from second on back is really going to split up. And Ty Hester's been caught in the middle. He's the meat in the sandwich.
Last time by, Kelsey Rogers was about a 10th and a half faster than Clarence Bonner. So maybe it was just an artifact of all those drivers racing oh so hard. Bonner was able to just scoot away just a little bit. So we'll have to see if Rogers in the number 35 can track him down up the front. But look at this battle. This is for about the 5th position on back. There's the 21 of Scott Smith and Ty Hester in the number 36 machine. They're side by side for that position. And yep, it seems like once you can get single file here, Tanner, it seems like you can scoot away just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I'm already seeing the first 4 cars really break it up right now. So that's from Bonner, Rogers, Stokes, and Brown. The top 4 drivers right now, and now it's practically 5th on pack. That's the main pack. So give it a couple more laps. Let's see if it splits up or not.
And Kelsey Rogers has all but caught Clarence Bonner up at the front, so that will be a battle for the race lead here pretty soon. There's Kevin Sargent in the number 09. We saw him involved in that first caution, and he is going a lap down, currently running in the 35th position. Chris Forster has taken the number 14 to the garage.
Man, almost contact between Hester and the 21 of Scott Smith. Man, those 2 cats almost doored each other. And we got a battle for the top spot. Rogers has practically caught the 99 machine of Bonner, and he's bringing Stokes up there with him. Yeah,
he's definitely looking for that race lead in that number 35 machine. Gonna duck low here into turn number 3. And I think Kelsey Rogers is going to get that spot. No, Bonner holding tough on that outside line, and he's going to get a great run out of turn number 4. Here they come to the line. Give that lap lead to Kelsey Rogers by, I mean, it's in the 4th digit. It's
almost contact for that top spot too.
iRacing at the line said that Kelsey Rogers led that lap by 0.000 seconds.
Absolutely
can't get much closer than that.
Oh man.
But here comes Brandon Stokes in the number 9 machine. He wants a piece of this race lead as they're all jostling up at the front, and pretty much the whole field now starting to get single file here as we're about 16 or so laps into this run. And Stokes right now behind Kelsey Rogers. Rogers led that lap by 75 thousandths of a second with a little bit of help from Brandon Stokes pushing him ahead. But here comes that number 9, going to dive all the way down to the bottom. Oh, the 99 of Bonner looks like he might have clipped the wall there coming out of turn number 2.
iRacing, I wish there was blowing on the interior, but oh Lord.
Yeah, Mitch Brown in the 51, he's caught this lead train too. So it definitely does seem like racing side by side slows you down. Getting single file is the way to go.
Well, thank you to the. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it kind of reminds me of the old restrictor plates days when you get in line and be able to catch people who are racing side by side.
Speaking of catching people, I'm really noticing, man, sparks coming out of the 35 machine as he exits the corner. But one big thing I'm really learning about this draft package, I don't know if it's me that's realizing it. I'm not sure if you're realizing it, Peter, or Carlos back in the production truck. But on the straightaways, these Cup cars are really sucking up to the back bumper than ever before. I mean, maybe it's just my opinion, but that's just from my understanding. If you don't even have to necessarily side draft. You can probably side draft, but you don't necessarily have to get close to that guy to pull him back.
Oh yeah, it was definitely difficult with the Cup draft package in the last build to suck up to the other car in front of you. And in fact, it made it really frustrating to run super speedways, as here comes Mitch Brown looking for the second position. And it definitely seems like this new spoiler and package in general has helped that.
I think it has. I mean, Stokes right now is up toward the front. I think this is the most lead changes I've ever seen in an Auto Club race under a green flag condition. Without the exception of the green flag pit stops, because these guys are really fighting for that top spot. I don't know how many times the lead has changed so far in this race.
And another thing that's interesting to note, Tanner, is just a few laps ago, like 2 or 3 laps ago, we were saying, oh, the whole field's single file. All of a sudden, here we go, side by side for the second position, all throughout this front group of about 10 cars. So it feels like an accordion. It just, it bellows out, and then all of a sudden...
Contact. Ooh, Mitch Brown made contact right there with the number 99 of Bonner. Man, I don't know if, excuse me, I think, yeah, that was... the 51 machine back there made the contact. 4 wide already. Jesus. And these cats, they're not playing around.
They all sort things out as they go off into turns number 1 and 2, but they are still 3 wide. Ty Hester on the bottom. Remember, he took 2 tires under that last pit stop. The number 51 of Mitch Brown in the middle. Ooh, boy, that got pretty tight coming off the corner. Oh, we have a caution. Caution has come out. Trying to see why. We do have Steve Buhala down on the inside of the track. A little bit of front end damage to that number 43. Not quite sure if he was involved here. Let's see if we can see. Oh, a little bit of contact there with the 84. The 84 of Calvin Miller. And that sent that 84 sideways and brought out the second caution flag of the night. Kelsey Rogers is your race leader, and Tanner, that was a pretty good run. They got about 21 laps in there. Probably wasn't too far away from a green flag pit stop as you watch another replay of that 84 getting sideways. I'm surprised that brought out the caution flag as well.
Not only was it a good run, but it was great racing to watch. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I've never seen racing like that here at Auto Club Speedway, where it just bunches everybody together and they're just swapping in and out of the lead and in and out of positions. I mean, if anybody is a statistical guy, or if iRacing gets anywhere statistical to where how many green flag passes or lead changes happen in a lap, I mean, you just practically see it here, and something just happened to Tyler Stokes. Or Brandon Stokes, excuse me, wrong guy.
Trying to see what happened there. Oh, he's been given an EOL penalty. Interesting. Interesting turn of events there. Not quite sure why, but he pulled to the inside of the racetrack in that number 9 machine.
Yeah, he was still pacing. As soon as he hit the apron, man, it just seemed like his car just shut off by itself.
Well, they do have the stalling feature in iRacing now, man. So yeah, hopefully he hasn't stalled that machine.
There's something going on with that number 9 machine mechanically, because he is in the grass 6 miles an hour, and he's trying to figure it out here.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on whether he can get that number 9 machine fired back up, because Brandon Stokes has been at the front most of this race. All the cars coming off pit road now. See the number 92, Evan Black, there in his pit stall. With that first pit stall, doesn't look like he's going to beat the number 35, Kelsey Rogers, off pit road. But the number 21 of Scott Smith, he got a great run out of pit road. He's going to move up into the second car off pit road. Michael Krobach right behind him. Evan Black, fourth car off pit road. Looking at the pit stop time, Tanner, it looks like everyone taking 4 tires under this pit sequence.
Yeah, at this stage, that was like a 21-lap green flag run, and the way the tires wear here on iRacing, there was no question you come down pit road and get 4 fresh Mr. Feelgoods. That way you can maneuver your car, especially the way the racing is here tonight and the drafting, and all sorts of factors here tonight. So, and I think one guy that really benefited out of that was Ty Hester. But there's a little bit of problem on Ty Hester's part, because I'm showing he's currently in the 12th position. He came in 7th, so he lost a lot of ground on that pit stop. But nonetheless, Ty Hester knows what he can do to keep up his car up towards the front. He already tried it on 2 tires. Let's see what he can do on 4 tires in that number 36 Hunt Brothers Pizza Toyota Camry.
Another driver who was a big loser on pit road was the 51 of Mitch Brown. Had a long pit stop, and I think that long pit stop was to fix some of that damage that we saw earlier in the race when we were looking out back at the front end of that number 51 machine when he was tucked up behind the number 9. And speaking of the number 9, there is Mr. Stokes. He was able to get that machine refired. He's the last car on the lead lap in the 34th position, but definitely good to see that it's fired up, and he's gonna head to his pit box here to get some fuel and tires, I'm sure. But hopefully that wasn't an indication of things to come with that number 9 machine having difficulty.
Yeah, I'm just curious what happened to him. I mean, I'm gonna see if he's in Discord here. If he is in here, I'd like to bring him up just to kind of ask him a question. I'm not seeing him in here whatsoever, so maybe later down the road we can get official confirmation to see what exactly happened, if it was like a mechanical thing or what. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely to keep an eye on.
Well, for now, Kelsey Rogers in the number 35 Chevrolet is leading the field. Second is Scott Smith in the number 21, Michael Krobach third, Evan Black fourth, Clarence Bonner, good run for him tonight. Currently in the 5th position, Corey Silva 6th, Danny Rogers 7th, Jared Haggerty trying to get that win after one was taken away from him at Darlington. He's currently running in the 8th position. Nick Curling 9th, and Ty Hester rounds out your top 10. Jared Haggerty, Tanner, in that number 6 machine. He started back in the 30th position. A lot of his teammates on that SMS Sim Marketing Solutions team, they're all, kind of biding their time and staying at the back of the field, but he's decided to get up near the front and get racy after seeing that long green flag run we had.
Alright, so with some crazy change of events here, let's actually reset the field here with Kelsey Rogers being the number 35 machine out towards the front, Scott Smith in 2nd, Michael Krobach in the 3rd spot, highest he's been all evening. Evan Black, the pole sitter, and currently in 4th. Clarence Bonner rounding out the top 5. Corey Silva in 6th. Danny Rogers 7th. Jared Haggerty, after starting 30th position, already up to 8th place. And Nick currently in 9th. Ty Hester rounding off the top 10. So good job for Ty Hester for picking up a little track position on them 2 tires call, but he's going to be mirrored in traffic for a little while until he gets up towards the front, closer to the front. Number 9 machine, just to keep an update on him, that would be Brandon Stokes. He is currently back in the 33rd position, lined up and ready to go. Alright, so the pace car is going to head down pit road here again. And we're going to light these cars off like firecrackers, because it's going to be all Kelsey Rogers waiting for him to get onto the throttle. Bringing this field down pretty slow as we're back green flag racing.
Look at all the cameras go off as we get back to green flag racing. Great restart there. Kelsey Rogers gets out front, but did he get too far out front as Michael Krobach is going to pull up to the back bumper of the number 35 as they head through turns number 1 and 2. Krobach, a good run. He needs a good run in that number 72 machine. Evan Black, the number 92, coming with him. As here comes Krobach, he's looking for that race lead halfway down the back stretch. He's going to dive to the inside of Kelsey Rogers, and Evan Black's going to go with him here. So Kelsey Rogers up there all by himself, no help from behind. We'll see if Clarence Bonner is going to offer up any help to Kelsey Rogers. Indeed, he does, coming out of turn number 4, at least briefly. So I think Krobach, below that white line, Krobach leads his first lap of the race.
Krobach did what he had to do to try to get himself up towards the front. And man, Krobach's still under fire from the number 92 machine of Evan Black, who was the pole sitter, and Black's going to try to take the lead off turn number 2.
And we are side by side for the 2nd position. Kelsey Rogers running the high line, but they're really racy right behind them. Oh, we have another caution. Oh, there's a spinner on the back stretch. It is, who's that? Oh, it's Will Worsler in the number 29. Oof. That front end has some damage, rear end has some damage. He just hit that inside wall. We'll have to see if we can catch a replay of what happened to Will. Oh man, it looked like it happened right behind him. The 01 and the 66 got together, and it looked like Will Worsler was just a victim of the 01 of Christopher Lane and the number 66 there getting together.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Edward Bray down there in the 66. Not quite sure what happened there, but Will Worsler was just a victim in that one. And unfortunately, that number 29, winner of 2 races so far this season, Will Worsler, going to have some damage. So it definitely opens up the door for these guys. We haven't seen a Cup Series winner other than Will Worsler or Jared Mogard. Both of those 2 drivers have significant damage here tonight.
And believe it or not, we haven't talked too much about Will Worsler here this evening. I'm not sure what was all going on with Will here tonight. I figured we were going to see him a little bit more up towards the front, down for that top spot as fast as he is, but we didn't talk about him too much here tonight, so this is a very unfortunate circumstance that we are talking about him under this caution flag, so we can get that thing repaired up and get back on out there as best as he can.
Well, I think Will had the mindset of, let's just stay in the back. Let's see if we can get, some drivers up front to crash and save the car for the last few laps. Because we definitely seen cars able to make a lot of passes here tonight, but unfortunately, Will was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and that number 29 machine will now have to come down pit road to get some of that damage repaired, as we do have a good chunk of the field coming down pit road. A good chunk of the field stayed out. I'd say it's about a 50-50 split. Will Worsler is one of those on pit road, and he's going to get some damage fixed. Jared Mogard got the lucky dog under the last caution, so he was back on the lead lap this time by. I think we're going to have everyone back on the lead lap who's still running. Kevin Sargent currently 4 laps down in the number 09 Toyota. He's sitting on pit road, not quite sure if he's going to get back out there, but 34 cars still out there on track. And we'll have to see how much of Mogard's damage he can get fixed, because he's been coming down pit road every caution and just waiting in his pit box to get more and more damage repaired. Don't think he's going to get back to a raceable point, but definitely Mogard taking his time on pit road to get that damage fixed.
Clarence Bonner and Scott Smith, I'm showing on my live timing and scoring that they haven't pitted in the last 30 laps. Correct me if I'm wrong, Carlos or Peter. If you're seeing the same thing, I think that's a glitch on my end.
Yeah,
Bonner and Smith.
I definitely see that they have pitted.
Okay.
They both pitted 6 laps ago.
Okay, then
on my end.
Okay, then I got a glitch in my system. That's my fault.
Those pesky live timing and scoring systems that we use, they can trip you up more than once. They've definitely tripped me up quite a few times.
Well, I think I'm using it a little too much, because I use it I sometimes use it during the whenever I'm racing out there, just to see who pitted and who's got what tires and all that, and I can just kind of memorize the car numbers, what are on tires and who's not on tires. So, but although I don't know, just a glitch gremlin on my end, and we still have the pace car lights turned on. I assume we got the 2 to go mark. I'm assuming that. And thanks to iRacing day-to-night transitions and its dynamic track surfaces, everything changes as the race goes on here on the sim. So the lights have been turned on, and the track temperature has drastically cooled off to its lowest track temperature it can be on the iRacing, at 65 degrees. So it is relatively very cool out there.
Without a doubt, it's track is nice and cool, track is nice and grippy, and I think that might be why we're seeing such great side-by-side racing. It'd be interesting to see what this race would be like if it was 110 degrees track temperature, because we might see a lot more sideways race cars coming off the corner, but definitely these drivers are putting on a show here tonight.
All right, race fans. Now, every single week in the last, every single broadcast I've been a part of with 3Y TV, I've done something a little special, and that specialty is trivia time. And one of the trivias I'm going to come up with right now here is who is the first winner of the California Speedway? At the time, it was California Speedway, but it's Auto Club now. Who was the very first person to win here at Auto Club? Anybody know?
Well, we'll have to wait see if anyone in the chat knows. I actually don't remember the answer to that. I have a guess, but we'll I'll have to wait and see.
I'm not going to tell you, production truck.
For the production truck wants hints.
Can anybody guess who won the first Auto Club Speedway race?
All right, do you want my guess now, or do you want me to hold it for later?
Go ahead, guess.
I'm gonna say Jeff Gordon.
Okay, anybody else? All right, well, I'll reveal it. How about this? I'll reveal it in 10 laps if we're under caution, which will mean the halfway point in this 100-lap race.
All right,
so with that being
that's
said,
fair enough.
Okay, sounds good, sounds good. So with that being said, we have Evan Black right now as he's going to come take the green here. Kelsey Rogers in second place, Michael Probach in third. Fourth place is Clarence Bonner. Fifth place, Corey Silva. Sixth, Scott Smith. Jared Haggerty in seventh. Jimmy McKee comes from 25th. In eighth, Ty Hester ninth. Running up top 10, Nick Curley.
Well, pace car is about to peel off here. As, man, that's really high up on the racetrack. It's a really hard dive down pit road. I'm going to put the race back in the hands of the number 92 of Evan Black. He's hard on the loud pedal. And, man, he got a great restart. Jumped way out in front of the field as the number 35, Kelsey Rogers, caught sleeping just a little bit. But he's going to pull alongside with Michael Krobach. But look at Krobach down there on the inside line. We've seen that inside line really strong on these restarts. The number 94 there, Corey Silva, looked like he might have got a little bit tight through turns number 1 and 2. Has to push up just a little bit. Here comes Scott Smith in the number 21 underneath 94. Oh, a little bit of contact up near the front. Krobach in the number 92.
Oh, that Bonner really loose. Bonner's in the hole.
Oh, Bonner. The 99, Bonner hard in the outside wall. We stay green. He keeps it going straight. But that was a fantastic run for Clarence Bonner. He's going to drop way back in the field.
Man, he could have broke that safer barrier in the wall as hard as he hit.
Man, there was just all by himself, just all of a sudden got loose on entry into the corner. Maybe he hit those seams wrong or hit a bump or something. But that number 99 machine definitely got a lot of damage. He's going to drop well back.
Oh, Krobach, 3 wide for the top spot.
Krobach going underneath Evan Black. Black, I think, rolled out of it just a little bit there. And that number 72 now to the front here at Auto Club.
Haggerty wants a challenge here as, man, it just seems like when you get off the corner and you're the race leader, it just seems like the pack just reels you in like a fishing rod.
Yeah, and Jared Haggerty, what a move. He called it. He just dived out. He'd go for that race lead. Passed a whole bunch of cars there on the straightaway. Didn't quite lead that lap. He was in third place at the line, but now side by side with Krobach for the race lead here. And he's got help from behind with the 92 of Evan Black, but they're 2 by 2, about 10 cars deep or so. A little bit more than that, 12 cars deep. As, ooh, man, I think someone was stuck in the middle. Not quite sure who was stuck in the middle there, a little bit further back, but up at the front, who led this lap?
Haggerty, nope, Krobach, 1/1000th of a second.
Too close to call.
Yeah, but Haggerty, he jumped from 6th to 1st in 2 laps, practically, even though he's fighting for the lead right now. And that's something you never see in past Auto Club races.
Want to keep an eye on the number 45 there on the right side of your screen. Nick Curling started in the 20th position. He's now up to 8th. Haggerty started in the 30th position, now battling for the race lead. In fact, I think Haggerty's definitely going to lead this lap outright as he's pulled about a car length ahead of Krobach on the outside line with help from Corey Silva tucked up right behind him. And Haggerty does lead his first lap of the race, so another new leader in this one. It seems like the lead has just shuffled between a lot of these drivers up at the front, and now it is Jared Haggerty trying to get that win after having one removed from him at Darlington.
Yeah, tell you what, it looks like we're going to stay green a little bit here, so in about 5 laps I will reveal that trivia question here. But hey, check that out, number 94, Corey Silva up towards the front. Now this guy right here, he's had some dismal finishes here in the Premier Cup Series side, and it's great to see him out towards front and being in the top 10 majority of this race after starting second here tonight. He's leading the race.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it was a really strong start to the season for Corey Silva, but definitely had some bad luck hit him over the past few weeks, and I'm sure he's going to try and get back to winning ways. He's definitely shown a lot of speed here this season. Finished second in the first race in Atlanta, back to third place Kentucky, 5th place at Bristol, but since Bristol, 26th at Pocono, 23rd at Daytona. So definitely a strong showing by the 94 would be good for him tonight, but here comes Haggerty once again looking for that race lead. He's going to dive to the inside of Corey Silva, not quite able to lead this lap, but there's no one down there to help him out, as Ty Hester, that number 36, is now shuffled back up into the 3rd position.
Haggerty had to be careful there. He was going to drift up the hill on Hester, but man, Hester, man, he was on 2 tires early battling for the lead. Now look at him now. He's on 4 tires, and he's up there battling for second, and might be going for the lead eventually here the more he gets sucked up to Silva.
Yeah, ooh, look at the number 9 there. Oh, Brandon Stokes right in front of him. Oh, there's Richard Stalling in the 17. A little bit of contact. And there's the 42 up there at the top. And
Jim
yeah,
Foose.
a little bit of argy-bargy there. Mid-pack, Jim Foose in the 42, like you said, back in the 18th position. As Ty Hester. Yeah, Ty Hester's moved to the race lead as we were watching that battle. Man, it just seems like everyone's shuffling through.
Silva wanted to take it to the inside, but he had Haggerty there, and now they're going to pull down the back straightaway. He's clear for now, so if he really wants to jump out, he can do it now. But I think he likes that high line. But no, he's going to actually jump into the bottom, kind of close the door on Haggerty as they enter the corner of the racetrack, coming off the corner. Let's see who wheels who in. And I think the Silva is really following the pattern of Hester here. He wants that outside row, Silva does. Looking enter high like this. He wants that run off.
Oh, a little bit of contact back in the pack. The number 41 of Tim Knott. What a save! He got bumped by the number 9 of Brandon Stokes. And, man, production truck, you need to get a replay of that number 41 because that was an impressive save. You see this going down into turn number 1, the number 9. Brandon Stokes right behind him. And a little bit of contact by number 41, completely sideways. What a move.
Well,
what a save.
I know iRacing's got dirt racing, and I think Tim Knott's been spending a lot of time on that.
Yeah, that was thoroughly impressive by Knott to keep that car going straight. He didn't really lose much ground because of it. Look at that. Look at that wheel input to keep that thing going straight.
Womp, 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 womp. That's what it felt like. Oh boy, kind of reminds me of Dale Jr. getting sideways like that at Bristol one time back in 2005, 2006. But nonetheless, we are hitting the halfway point right here. Corey Silva looks like he's going to lead it at the halfway point. So with that being said, folks, back to that trivia question: who was the first Auto Club Speedway? At the time, it was California Speedway. Who was the first winner of the inaugural California Speedway event? Here, 1997. Was the year. It was the production truck asked what year it was because the production truck's getting in on this. The answer, everybody, is, and Peter Short, you were correct. I'm surprised Carlos didn't get it. It was Jeff Gordon. So Cody, you're in the chat here tonight. Good job. Your first guess was Jeff Gordon. Nice job.
I deserve a kazoo for that production truck.
Yeah. Carlos, where's the kazoo?
Oh,
trouble, 21.
That's Scott Smith in the number 21. He's on pit road. An amazing save. He's definitely going to get a black flag for that. But Scott Smith hit the wall coming out of turn number 4. He's going to shoot right through pit road. And we'll watch this on the replay.
Man, how he did not annihilate any civilians on pit road on him.
Man, that was an amazing save.
Yeah, practicing for the All-Star race, yeah.
Yeah, for the All-Star race, you got no speed limit on pit road, but gonna keep that number 21 truck going. I'm sure he has a black flag. We'll have to see if that gets cleared or not, but Scott Smith still running, got some right side damage, but up at the front, Corey Silva still leading the way just over halfway here at Auto Club for the Sim Marketing Solutions Cup Series. Oh, here comes Scott Smith. He did get a black flag. He's gonna come down and Tanner, with that speed that he had getting to pit road, you would have to think this will be a lengthy stop and hold for that 21 machine. Oh,
yeah, without a doubt. I would uncheck all your tires, uncheck all your gas, and serve that penalty, get back on out there, because you don't want to lose any more time than what is already out there. You're on the same fresh stickers as other drivers out there, and you just got to hope and pray for the caution. And Hester's going to go for the lead.
We got Ty Hester in that number 36 down there underneath the 94 of Corey Silva. Not quite able to lead that lap, but we'll see if those positions do swap as they head off into turn number 1. That number 36 dives it down into turn number 1. Move the number 36 to the front, but here comes the 94 with a great run coming out of turn number 2. Here comes Corey Silva. He's going to go back underneath the 36 machine. They're going to be side by side off into turn number 3. Great racing up at the front. Here comes Haggerty in the number 6, looking underneath Hester for a moment. No, he backs down and jumps back in behind that number 36.
Oh, trouble, 97, Andy Veltman around.
Andy Veltman. I saw he's hard in the inside wall. He's on pit road. Doesn't look like there's going to be a caution, but that was a great run tonight for Andy Veltman in that number 97. And he's going to sit down there, not quite in his pit box, but there's a ton of damage on that machine. We'll see what happened here on the replay. Oh, looks like he just caught the wall. It's kind of a similar thing to what happened with the number 21. Ooh. And, man, he took out that cone.
Yeah, RIP, yellow cone.
So, tough break for Andy Veltman. Showing a lot of speed tonight, running that high line, but all by himself hit that wall coming out of turn number 4. And that will definitely end his chances here tonight.
Man, that Corona machine just got busted open. Like a broken glass of a Corona bottle. Oof.
I don't think the Corona's getting its lime tonight.
No. If anything, the glass broke.
Well,
but anyways.
Back at the front, it's still Corey Silva. Ty Hester right behind him. Haggerty was looking for that second position, but that's now going to have Evan Black challenging for third. Black's running a little bit higher on the racetrack. Ooh, the 6 got down there on the apron a little bit. As you were looking a little bit further back in the back. Here's the number 29, Will Worsler. We talked about him. FB got involved in an accident not too long ago, but he has now moved himself up into the 17th position. So that number 29 machine definitely looking still somewhat racy. He's got the number 9, Brandon Stokes. We saw him earlier in the race up at the front. And unfortunately for Brendan Stokes, he hasn't been able to find his way forward recently as he's stuck behind the number 28 of Troy Haight. So Hayter Racing in the 28 and the 29. They're running pretty close to each other on the track. Alex Giese in the number 77 there. He's currently running in the 14th position. At least he was last time by.
Stokes around the outside on the number 28 machine of Troy Haight, man. He wants that high line to himself. He just wants that run on corner exit.
For all of you fans of Scott Smith, that number 21 machine is currently scored 2 laps down. So that was a very, very costly penalty for Scott Smith to head down pit road essentially twice. And one of those was a stop and hold. Your front 5 cars up at the front have skipped away from the field. Those front 5 being Corey Silver, Ty Hester, Jared Haggerty, Evan Black, and Kelsey Rogers. Nick Curling in the number 45 mobile. He is about 1.5 seconds behind Kelsey Rogers, running in 6th. Jeremy Banning, great run for him. We haven't really talked about Jeremy Banning all night. He's worked his way up into the top 10, currently running in the 9th position now as these positions continue to shuffle out. But I would think if you're one of these drivers in about 6th place on back, you've lost the lead pack, it's time to really get into a groove, get, you know, with the other drivers, get in line and see if you can run down the leaders, because they're pretty much running single file now out the front and just pulling away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with this. Is the first time we've seen this all night with the top 5 cars in a single pack, and then it kind of broke away from everybody. We were kind of used to seeing everybody in one big pack majority of the night here tonight, but the draft is really playing a bigger role than ever here at Watkins Club, from my experience here on iRacing. So far, if I was Nick Curling, I would just try to treat this as like, hey man, you're in the clean air, just try to get to the front and hit your marks just right.
Well, definitely one thing that is interesting to note is tires are actually seeming to matter at this point in the run. I'm watching Scott Smith. He came down pit road just a couple laps ago, not on his own accord in that number 21 machine, but he actually did take tires, and he has run down the lead pack. He's about a half second faster than the leaders and he's actually just got around Kelsey Rogers in the 5th position. So Scott Smith, ooh, almost contact there with the 92 of Evan Black, but that number 21 machine is really, really fast right now, and he's working his way forward.
Boy, I tell you what, the 92 machine of Black just got to the left rear quarter panel and tried to swing the Haggerty back a little bit, going back to him. It didn't work. He's still trying to attempt to do it.
Yeah, he's trying to get to being 1 lap down. There's Edward Bray in the 66 is the only car currently 1 lap down. So if he can get back to Edward Bray, he would be the first car 1 lap down. But one thing that is interesting to note is Corey Silva has 30 laps on his tires at this present moment in time. So not quite sure what a fuel run will be, but Corey Silva will have to start thinking as we have a caution just as I say that. And man, just as we were saying, the 21 Scott Smith got himself back to 1 lap down. He got around the leaders the hard way. Tim Knott in the 41 there. A lot of front end damage to that number 41 machine. We saw him with a great save earlier, but this time around, oof, not quite able to duplicate his earlier save, and he went around there in the corner. I saw a couple of other cars that had gone around as well. Oh, contact there with the number 17 of Richard Stallings into the left rear of that number 41 machine, got him loosened up, and unfortunately that's a hard hit for that number 41. But I'm going to see if we can see what happened to the number 73 of Jonathan Holstein as well, because it seemed like he might have been involved in something separate.
Was that separate?
Yeah, the 73 was turned around on the front stretch there with the number, maybe a little bit of contact there with the number 80 of Jack Wells.
Twice.
Yeah, it seems like, so let's see what happened here. So basically 2 accidents happening at the exact same time here at Auto Club. Ooh, yeah, it looks like the number 80 washed up, hit the wall.
Oh yeah, he just got, and then sideways already was Holstein to try to avoid that. Too little, too late.
Well, that sent those drivers coming down and sliding through the grass. So a lucky break for Scott Smith as he got himself back to being only 1 lap down. Unfortunately, he will still stay 1 lap down as he was not the lucky dog, but all your leaders on pit road, led by Corey Sylvan, the number 94. I'm sure, like I said, it was about a half-second difference, the fresh tires to the old tires, so I'm sure these drivers will be glad to get some freshies on their cars, as we'll have probably about 33, 34 laps or so to go once we go back to green.
And you want to know something about these cautions that some of these drivers hate is that it's going to bunch everybody all back up. And usually you don't want to bunch everybody back up because it just brings more players into the mix. Tyre Hester's already done. And to the line, I think Silva got him.
Man, that was a really close race off pit road. I think you're right. I think Silva did beat him off pit road, but it was just by a fraction of an inch. Ty Hester in that number 36. Good launch out of his pit box.
That was definitely a fraction of an inch.
Chris Lane in the number 01 currently still out on the racetrack. That number 01 machine is fairly badly damaged, so we'll have to see if he can come down pit road this time. I think he tried to stay out to lead a lap. Not quite sure if he did or not, but that number 01 machine, they're out front, and I'm getting word that he did not lead that last lap, so hopefully for him he can come down pit road this time and still lead a lap, because he is peeling down below that white line to come down and get some fresh tires. Let's see if we can talk to our race leader, Corey Silva.
Definitely. All right, Corey Silva. I believe we have him dialed up here. First off, let's see if we can get him here. Corey Silva, you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, Corey, it's been some intense racing. You started in 2nd place here tonight, and you're currently leading the race. Talk to me a little bit under this caution flag. Talk to me a little bit about the draft package here. I'm sure you've known about it. I'm sure you're experiencing it out there. From my experience up here in the booth, from watching you guys, it seems like cars are in a big pack, and we've seen more lead changes here than just as much as on a restrictor plate track. What's it feeling for you out there?
First 15 laps is literally, like you said, it's a plate track. But then as the tires wear a little bit, you really kind of have to manage your stuff and play the lines. You get the aero push, so it's kind of a chess match on when to make your moves. And I saved the tires right, and I kind of found the perfect line to block the air and pull the lead and see if we can do it for another 35 laps.
And speaking of that, how effective is the drafting out there? It just seems like when the leader comes off the corner of the racetrack, the car behind can really get a good suck up on the back bumper and try to go for a pass or try to go for a bump draft. How's the drafting out there? It just seems like since you guys are down on a little bit of horsepower in these cup cars now these days, is there any significant change in the recent past?
Oh, the drafting is absolutely huge. Like, I'll pull away and get a better run off the corner. I'll pull away by 4/10, and he's right up my back bumper entering the next corner. Like, it's huge. It's a chess match. So if it comes down to a late race restart, you guys will need your popcorn because it'll be intense.
I tell you what, we're going to have to get our popcorn ready. I'm going to have to get my popcorn and beer ready to watch you guys battle out for the next 35 laps. Corey, it's going to be tough, but best of luck as this race goes on. Hopefully you can fend them off, and it just seems like it's very entertaining out there, not just here in the booth, but in the cockpit of your 94 machine.
Entertaining's not the word. I'll call it stressful, but it'll be a good show for you guys. So.
All right, we got the one to go. We'll let you go.
Thank you.
That is Corey Silva, who is currently leading the race. Man, just by hearing Corey's voice and his reaction to the questions, it's a really a game changer in this drafting package, and we're really seeing it here tonight. But let's reset the field here, Peter. Corey Silva is leading, Ty Hester second, Evan Black, the pole sitter, is in third. Jared Haggerty, after starting in 30th position here tonight, is up in fourth. Danny Rogers in fifth. Kelsey Rogers sixth. Seventh, Nick Curling, Michael Krobach in 8th. Brandon Stokes backed up there in the top 10. He's 9th. And Mitch Brown running off the top 10.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see what goes on here as this race continues to go on. I mean, you know, it's starting to be go time. You say it's go time at Daytona and Talladega when you get under about 20 laps to go. They have about 35 laps to go here at Auto Club, but you definitely want to put yourself into a position where you can make moves towards the ends. You've seen drivers come up through this field like Jared Haggerty, but we've also seen track position be key as some of the drivers up the front been up there the whole race long as pace car dives down pit road. We're going to get set to go back to green flag racing here at Auto Club. Corey Silva leads us down. What a great start by that number 94.
Yeah, Black was all over that back bumper on Silva, man, as they head down toward turn number 1, looking towards the inside, maybe, possibly, but maybe Silva's a little bit worried as we are on fresh stickers, brings everybody back up. I'm curious to see if Rogers, Hester, and these cats can really try to gain a run down that back straightaway. I tell you what, Black is just all that back bumper. Look at them pushing.
Yeah, they're definitely all over the place going down the back stretch. But they're going to dive off into the corner here as, man, look at Evan Black right behind his teammate Corey Silva. It'll be interesting to see if those two drivers up the front, if they stick together for the remainder of this race. I'm sure.
High line coming.
Yeah, definitely. Ty Hester, man, he's had a really good run tonight. After taking 2 tires to get track position, he's made the most of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, caution.
Man, caution, and he tried going for the lead.
And man, it looks like Andy Veltman might have gotten involved in another accident with Jack Wells. Those 2 drivers involved in recent accidents, and it looks like they are both involved in this one. We'll have to see if we can see what happened.
Oh, daggone.
Yeah, I mean, you see that number? Oh, it happened right in front of them. The 84.
It just looked like the 84. Like, I mean, it was one of those scenarios that looked like he blew a tire going into the corner. The thing just did not turn. He just went to the outside wall, shot to the inside. Let's see who hit him in the back here. Somebody made contact. Let's check this out again.
Ooh, the number 21 there.
Matt Smith. No lucky dog for him, though. I tell you what, he was eligibility for the lucky dog too.
Yeah, that's a tough break.
Broke again. That glass bottle's been in a mess tonight.
Yeah, definitely a tough break for those guys.
The car just did not turn. It almost looked like when you're watching a race on TV, the tire just blows out, and not sure what happened on the 84 machine.
Yeah, it just got loose. I mean, we've seen that a few times tonight with a couple of drivers. All of a sudden, it gets away from them, and we saw the 99 Clarence Bonner really early in the race. He had that issue on entry into turn number 3, and Clarence Bonner has not been able to bounce back from that. He's currently running in the 28th position, so that was definitely a tough break for Clarence Bonner. And here again, a little bit of contact.
No, that was just a short green flag run, and these guys know, hey, I'm going to come down and get tires. It wouldn't matter at all. That's just what it seems like to me. So track position is definitely key for the final 30 laps here.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt. You know, cautions breed cautions, and in races like this with so many cars so close to one another, you know, it definitely will be a caution breeding caution type of race. So hopefully these drivers can get things sorted out.
Most definitely, as it's going to be kind of harder because the more restarts we get, the harder it's going to be to fend off the leaders, or to fend off the guys behind you if you're leading the race, like Corey Silva. Just kind of given on how this race has really been going on these restarts, Silva really wants a green flag run so he can settle in and try to break that air he talked about, so he can really keep the race lead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if his teammate can do anything. Evan Black. We're going to see if we can grab Evan Black up here into the 3-wide TV booth. He talked to his teammate under the last caution. Evan Black, Peter Short in the 3-wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right, well, we just talked to your teammate Corey Silva up there at the front, and you know, he says that this race is kind of giving him a little bit of a heart attack. What's it like from your perspective? Because this is definitely unlike anything we've seen at Auto Club before.
Yeah, well, we were about 20 laps into this race, and I feel like I've been racing for about 80 laps. It feels like a plate race. It's fun, but it is also so scary at the same time. You know, me and Corey, for the first 40 laps or so, we were just kind of riding the back, trying to not die. After we somehow both started on the front row, which neither of us expected that. So at this point in the race, we just need to be going for it.
Yeah, well, definitely that is the case. And, you know, you guys have had great track position this entire race. How important is track position here? Because it seems like it races like a super speedway, but you two have been able to keep out front all night long.
Yeah, it's really easy to gain track position the first 5-10 laps, but after the tires wear, track position is so key. In that last run we had, the one before this last caution where we went 20-25 laps or something like that, I was right there in 4th or 5th, and I was trying to pass Haggerty, but I could not get by him. No matter what I did, I would just get tied or something underneath them. So after 15-20 laps, track position is super important in subsequent air.
Yeah, you know, once you got that long green flag run, it seems like you were able to get a little bit of a breakaway up at the front, of about a 5-car breakaway. How important is fall off, and about how much do you fall off? Because you know, we have about 30 laps to go right now. We're gonna have probably about 27, 28 when we go back to green. So, you know, is tire saving in the back of your mind, or is it all about just trying to keep that track position?
Well, me and Corey kind of found out that track position outweighs the tire saving, and we only fell off about a half second to a second there, but handling is where we really lost it. Just getting really tight and you couldn't make runs. The draft would get you back up down the straights, but you couldn't pass unless you save your tires. So it's going to be really tough here, and really, I don't know if I'm going to go for trying to get out there and get the lead, or if I'm going to be trying to save tires.
All right, well, one last question before we let you go. Are you guys good on fuel, or is that in the back of your mind as well?
Yeah, we're going to be good on fuel. We were going to pit around lap 70 there, and that would have put us about 10 to good, so we're definitely good on fuel.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Evan Black currently running 3rd position, 2nd car on the inside line. We thank you for stopping by, and hopefully we'll get to talk to him a little bit later, but pace car lights are off, and we're about to sit get set to go back to green. Tanner and sun has basically set all over the racetrack, so pretty cool to see all these light.
Most definitely. Thanks iRacing for the day-to-night transitions for sure, but enough talk about that. Corey Silva, let's line him up for Silver's leader. Ty Hester in second, Evan Black third, Kelsey Rogers in fourth, Jared Haggerty in fifth, Dan Rogers sixth, Michael Krobach in seventh, Brandon Stokes in eighth, Nick Curley ninth, Jimmy McKee rounding out the top 10. And it is great that iRacing has that feature of day to night, otherwise it would still be daytime, and a little bit on the unrealistic standpoint, but we're on the realistic standpoint. And here we go, once again, Black pushing the heck out of the number 94 of Corey Silva. I think these two cats are teammates, just trying to help each other out. You know, trying to keep that track position. They got a whale of a run. I'm just curious if Hester can probably reel them in down the back straightaway.
Yeah, we're
20 to go.
This really seems like so far one of the calmest restarts we've had all night. Pretty much single file for the first 4 cars. The first battle side by side is between Danny Rogers and Kelsey Rogers. Not related to those two, but that's going to be a side by side battle for the 5th position. Now we have a side by side battle between Haggerty and the 36 of Ty Hester to his outside. So move the number 6 machine to, oh man, here comes the 92 on the 94. Those are 2 teammates. Primetime Racing, battling side by side for the race lead.
36 wants that higher line, but I don't know if he's going to get that run on corner exit. Not anymore, can't make it work. But this might be a good strategy on teammates' part. Block both lines. Oh, here comes Haggerty to the inside.
Man, what a move by Jared Haggerty to jump down there to the inside. We're 3 wide for the race lead. Haggerty on the inside, Silva in the middle, Evan Black on the high side. We'll see how this all sorts out coming out of the corner. Looks like Silva got a really good run. Here comes Ty Hester to move up to the back bumper of the number 94. The 94 does lead the lap. Haggerty's still down there on the inside line. And we have a 5-car battle for the race lead.
This is turning into a 5-car recipe for a 5-car wreck.
But look at just behind these top 5 is the 02 of Danny Rogers and the number 9 of Brandon Stokes. We've seen him be a little bit in battle tonight. At one point, that number 9 machine was stalled in the grass in 3 and 4. Ooh, really tight there between Haggerty and the 92 of Black.
And Hester, too, man. Hester just chopped the nose off that 6 car of Haggerty. Haggerty had it checked up just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, but definitely some close racing up in the front. Look at this battle up off the corner. Black still just holding his own to the outside of Haggerty. Ooh, here comes Hester for the race lead. Just battle all over this racetrack.
Tell you what, Hester wants that top spot. He's just trying to find a way to get it without being tied or anything like that. And a little bit of push from Haggerty. Man, it looks like that push from Haggerty just got him loosened up, and Hester's down to the apron of the track.
I've seen drivers make some really man, that was so close.
Scary. Man, I tell you what, Silva, he did not want to lose the race lead, and technically in that case scenario, he had no choice.
Yeah, man, Haggerty just split the middle, and there was almost contact between the 6 and the number 94. I was just about to say, I've seen some great moves up the middle by some of these drivers tonight.
Hester up the hill just a little bit.
Ooh, Kelsey Rogers to his outside now. They're 3 wide now for the 3rd position. Haggerty led that lap. Corey Silva actually ducked in behind him, but we're still 3 wide battling for 3rd. Ty Hester in the middle of the number 36 with help from the 02 of Danny Rogers right behind him. Look at Brandon Stokes. Stokes is now trying to fill the middle just between the number 92 and the number 02 to his outside.
Now from top spot again, Haggerty and Silva side by side. And then one thing I'm really learning about this draft package is there's some guys within this top 10 that have struggled this season in their Cup Series side. And now they are running up towards the front with, you know, no harm, no foul, and they are just as even as the fast guys. Remember when Jared Mogard was up towards the front? I mean, he wasn't breaking away. He was still battling side by side with somebody. It just, I mean, with this drafting pack, or this package, these new rules package on iRacing that gets implemented with a fixed setup race, I think that just brings everybody closer and makes everything more competitive.
Oh, without a doubt, here comes the 94. Gonna try and go for the race lead once again. See if he can get around the number 6 of Haggerty. Not quite able to do so just yet. Oh, they got really close there coming out of turn number 4. Number 36 of Ty Hester trying to figure out which line to go with. Here's Kelsey Rogers in the number 35. You're right on board with him as he heads off into turn number 1. Really close on that back bumper of that number 36. Really close right in front of the, almost contact between the 94 and the 6 again. Danny Rogers is going to get a run on that 94 machine. And you know, we were just talking to Evan Black. Under that last caution, he slipped all the way back to the 9th position currently, battling with Alexander Pelican for that position. So things ebb and flowing as Silva now stuck in the middle of a 3-wide battle between the Rogers. He's in the Rogers sandwich. Kelsey Rogers to the outside, Danny Rogers to the inside. But Danny Rogers is going to have to roll out of it. Now they're going to be side by side between Kelsey Rogers and Corey. So, oh, Silva hit the apron. He's sideways sliding through the corner. He's going to drop way back in the field. What a save.
Did he get
by
help
Corey
there?
Silva. I don't think there was contact. I think he just got below that white line just a little bit. And
Double check
upset.
that. I think there was contact with the O2 car.
No, I think he just got loose. He hit that white line, and that's what broke him loose. And all of a sudden, way back in the pack
I don't
now.
know. I could have sworn I seen contact. I could have, yeah, I think there was contact between 02 and the 94, but it was after the 94 got loose because I'm seeing rear damage, and I just took a look at that, and I think there was apparent contact there. But it was after Silva got loose.
So definitely, you know, all of a sudden, Corey Silva's led a good chunk of this race, and now he finds himself back in the 17th position with 19 laps to go. Jared Haggerty in the 6th out front. The number 36 Ty Hester right behind him. The side-by-side battle is between the Rogerses of Kelsey Rogers in the 35 and the 02 of Danny Rogers. Right behind him is Mitch Brown. And Mitch Brown, we haven't really talked about him all too much in the last, I'd say, third of the race. Mitch Brown now finding himself back up into the top 5 in the 51 machine. There's the 45 of Nick Curling. He's run about as high as the 5th position, the 5th or 6th position in that number 45. He's now back in the 11th position. But Tanner, I think what we're starting to see is some of these drivers, it's go time for them, and they're starting to work their way to the front.
Well, the Rogers guys, no relation between the two guys. They're up towards the front. Danny Rogers started 4th. He's been realistically in the top 10 all night long. He's just been mixing it up. Kelsey Rogers has started 15th, already up in 3rd, and they're going around some lap traffic right now. I'm seeing some guys who are down on horsepower, but it is still separated by 9/10 of a second from 1st to 8th at the moment. This might string them out just a little bit, getting around the lap traffic. But I'm seeing some drivers making their name known here. One of those drivers, Alexander Pelican. Oh, we got a caution.
Oh, caution out on the racetrack. Oh, it's Holstein and Leland on the backstretch. Both of those cars have come to a stop. They're now rolling again. Let's have to see if we can see what happened. Looks like those two cars just kind of got together maybe a little bit. Hopefully see if we can back up just a little bit more and see if we can see. Here you go, on board, or watching the 73. Okay, now we're on board with the 73. And oh, yeah, looks like Leland just hit the wall in front, came down, and oh man, Holstein was just a victim on that one. But it was interesting to see those, that bringing out a caution flag. They were both below that white line. Maybe it was the fact that number 23 got so sideways, but we've seen accidents like that this season where it hasn't brought out the yellow flag below that white line. Oh, I think right there, I think when he moved up and got a little bit on the racing surface, that's probably when the caution flag was flown. But nonetheless, we'll see if who makes pit stops. Anyone taking 2 tires? Tanner, what do you think? 2 tires here?
too much of a green flag run, in my opinion. Too much of it. If we had a consecutive cautions like we've seen earlier, not that green flag run that we've seen, then sure, go ahead and try to take a gamble on it. But I think it's too many laps on the green flag. I think 4 tires is the way to go right here.
Well, we'll definitely see as all these drivers now coming down pit road. Ty Hester misses pit box just a little bit.
That's going to cost some time.
That is definitely going to cost him time. Oh, he's still trying to find his pit box. That is just, guys. That's just going to cost him so much time.
Just cost himself the race there. That is very unfortunate.
I mean, don't say he's out of it, because it's you know, kind of like a super speedway, but the amount of time that Ty Hester lost on pit road is just unbelievable. I mean, he was battling for the race lead.
This was,
and now
I mean,
he's going to be way back.
He should have. Ty just had to back it up. He wasn't even cornered right in this pit box. Let's see if we can bring Ty Hester up here. Ty Hester, this is 3 Wide TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Ty, I can tell by the frustration in your voice right now that is something you do not want to happen on pit road, especially from leading the race. Now you're practically in the back of the pack. You had that shot, man. That's very unfortunate, but tell me overall the race. How's been the race for you here tonight at Auto Club?
For me, it's been literally amazing. It's very tight, as you can tell by watching on the broadcast. It's very fun, even though you're kind of like a Daytona, but the tires never go away there. They go away here, so you can see the ones that spread out from each other, but it's been really fun. Yeah, pit stop sucked.
Ty, you're going to be lined up 17th here, and you just said that pit stop just practically sucked right there. But nonetheless, with coming about, because we don't have the 1 to go signal yet, you're going to get the green flag with about at least 11 to go. What's the analogy? What's the situation on your part to try to get back up toward front and try to get a good, solid top 10 finish out of this? What's the game plan here?
Do what I've been doing the whole race so far. Just a little extra oomph behind.
All right, and one final question to you, Ty. Is this new rules package that has been introduced here on iRacing to match the 2019 standards, is this your kind of racing? Does this racing package work for you?
You know me, I'm more of an aggressive driver, and it is, I can be a little bit more aggressive with it here so far, so of course.
All right, sounds good, Ty, and hopefully you use that aggressiveness to get back up towards the front for a solid top 10 finish. If not a win, hopefully you can pull out a win. It'll be a really amazing fleet to get you up towards the front and get you to victory lane now. Hunt's Brothers Pizza Toyota Camry, it's looking good all night. Best of luck.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Had to get Ty Hester back into his room there, but nonetheless, that was Ty Hester, who's currently in 17th spot. Ty's going to have a workload for him, but hopefully he can. What I would do that would make me comfortable, Peter, is I want to finish better than where I started. So in Ty's position, he started 14th. He's going to line up 17th. If I can beat that 14th spot and get closer to the front, I'll be content with that, despite my mistake along pit road. But look who's in first place on this restart. The SK modified machine of Jared Mogard. He must, I tell you what, he's got some bumpers now. That thing's all fixed up, but he's back. He's out front. Second place, Jared Haggerty. Third place, Mitch Brown. Fourth place, Michael Krobach. Fifth place, Danny Rogers. Kelsey Rogers in sixth. Brandon Stokes in seventh. Sam Maxwell. We haven't talked about him all night. He's currently in eighth. Pole sitter Evan Black in ninth. Rounding out the top 10, who I was going to talk about earlier, Alexander Pelican, after starting 33rd. So let's see, Peter, I don't know if this is going to be working. I don't know how much horsepower he has in that thing. I don't know how badly that thing is hurting. But Mogard is going to try to stay up towards the front as best he can here. And wow, if he's able to pull this off, hashtag unbelievable.
Yeah, like I said a little bit earlier, he's been coming down pit road so they can work on that car more and more and more under every caution. But finally, I guess they've got everything fixed as he's hard on the gas early. And green flag back in the air. Garrett Haggerty in that number 6 car got a pretty good restart. And look at the number 51. And the 51 of Mitch Brown.
Before the start finish line now.
And I think Mitch Brown did change the lanes, but that is one of our new lane new rules, I should say.
Oh, man.
Here, and man, look at that 00 is dropping like a rock. He's being passed left and right. Oh, here comes Sam Maxwell underneath him. Haven't talked much about Sam Maxwell tonight.
Contact! Leaders making contact.
Oh, and those are teammates. The teammates of the 51 and the number 6 got together. It's going to open up the door for the 35 of Kelsey Rogers. He's going to look for the lead on the outside.
Number 45 spinning. That's
the
Nick
40.
Hurley.
Nick Hurley going through the grass. Oh, we got another one hard in the wall. That car is absolutely impaled. Not quite sure who it was. Who was it? It was Jimmy McKee in the 31, 31, excuse me. And watch this on replay. We had action happening everywhere. Oh, a little bit of contact there with the 98. And oh gosh, that was a hard hit with that inside bolt spinning through the grass.
Well, I tell you what, Mogard was dropping like a pigeon, nonetheless. 45 went out earlier, and then the second incident was the 31 machine of Jimmy McKee. The 45 machine was Nick Hurley.
Yeah, and a couple of other drivers were involved. Jonathan Holstein in the 73, he's been involved in a couple of incidents tonight. Let's see what happened here. Ooh, there was a little bit of bump there from, I think, the 1. And look at that number 45 machine rally crossing it through the infield grass. And luckily for him, he missed all the wreck that happened in front of him, but unfortunately he lost a lot of track position. As we're back under the caution flag, I'm sure Mogard, you know, he stayed out. He really needs some caution flags to help him get a decent finish out of this one, because he's currently in the 9th position after, you know, starting in the lead. And we'll see if we can drag Kelsey Rogers up here, see if we can get a few words with him. Kelsey Rogers, Peter Shorten, 3-wide TV booth. You got a copy, bud?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Well, man, you've been up near the front for most of this race, definitely showing your muscle up front, but laps are winding down here, and we'll probably have only about 6 laps to go once we go back to green flag racing. How are you going to get the race lead here away from Jared Haggerty?
I don't know. We're going to start on the outside here. Hopefully we can get a good run out of 2 and kind of get them down the back stretch. If not, you know, there's still going to be about 6 laps to go. Yeah, really no plan with this new package. We're just kind of winging it.
Yeah, it seems like that high line has definitely worked for certain drivers here tonight, and it has worked for you at times. What's the key to getting that high line working tonight?
I think the key to this package is just going to be the momentum, keeping your momentum up, and that means just taking a wide arc into the corner and you know, trying to keep those RPMs as high as you can.
Yeah, definitely keeping that momentum up. We saw it in qualifying, actually. Some drivers actually ran the high line both of their first 2 qualifying laps, so it does seem like momentum is important here tonight. But with the track temperature so low at this point in the race, is it really grippy out there?
It is. You know, it's hard to tell being the first time in this package. It seems like it has a lot of grip anyway, you know, being down on power with more aero. So it's hard to tell. I think it's a mixture of the two. It feels a lot like the truck. So, you know, you're driving around with the truck with a little bit more corner speed. So you have a lot of grip.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, you guys have definitely put on a great show here tonight. You know, you've had that track position for most of the race. You started down in 15th, but how important has it been to have that good track position and stay out front?
I think just like you hear him say in the real Cup car, track position's key right now. It's so hard to pass. You can get alongside of a guy and you can make a run on a guy, as you guys have seen all day tonight. But getting around him is a whole different thing. You almost need a friend to do it.
Absolutely. Well, shades of super speedway racing at Auto Club, which is something I didn't expect to say in my life, but definitely that has been what it has looked like for at least the first 15 or so laps. We saw you in a 5-car breakaway earlier in the race, but what do you think your chances are of getting a 5-car breakaway here towards the end?
I think they're pretty slim to none. I think it's going to be hold on and run what you brung now, and hopefully we can run it out green. I'd like to see that. Maybe one more caution, but I hope it ends under green.
Absolutely. Well, I hope it ends under green too, because that will be quite a treat for all these fans on YouTube, on 3 Wide TV. Well, before you get back to green flag racing, any further thoughts from where you are in the driver's seat?
Nope. I just want to say, Cody, I know Cody's watching. Hey, how's it going, Cody? And Jimmy, he just had a bit of bad luck on the SRM car behind me. So we'll be back next week. Hopefully we can get it closed out tonight.
All right. Well, Kelsey, I'll let you get back to the job at hand in that number 35 machine, but definitely a great run for Kelsey Rogers here throughout this one, Kelsey. Best of luck for these final few laps.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right. Well, that was Kelsey Rogers, Tanner, and I think he's right. I don't think we're going to see anyone holding back here for these last few laps. Pace car lights are off. We'll get a 6-lap shootout here, and hopefully we can stay clean and green to the end.
Man, I tell you what, we've seen some great racing all race long with this new aero package or this new rules package that's been implemented into the sim, but we're coming to get the green flag here. It's going to be 6 laps remaining. The race is now just on. So with that being said, Jared Haggerty holds the top spot after starting in 30th position today. Kelsey Rogers in 2nd, Mitch Brown in 3rd, Michael Krobach in 4th, Brandon Stokes in 5th, Danny Rogers in 6th, Evan Black 7th, Alexander Pelican, after starting 33rd, is in 8th. Jared Mogard in 9th, who still stays up, but I still think he's going to drop like a pigeon, with all due respect there. And Jeremy Banning rounding off the top 10. So the race is not just now on, Peter. It's just a matter of who's going to get the victory. The fastest guy in practice was Jason Stewart. We haven't talked about him all race long, and he is currently in 12th position. So realistically, it just seemed like practice and qualifying really does not matter, because this race has been treated like it's a restricted plate track, even though there's no plates on these cars. It's just this new rules package in the draft. As pace car is going to head down pit road, Jared Haggerty is going to get on the loud pedal here pretty soon as pace car hits it. There we go, and Haggerty's off.
Yeah, Haggerty got a really good restart, kind of caught the 35 there sleeping, and he did have a little bit of help there from the 51, who was his teammate. I'm sure they timed that restart to try and get a good launch. 6 laps to go here at Auto Club. Keep an eye on Brandon Stokes. We saw him up in the front early in the race. The number 9 opened the door just a little bit.
Trouble.
No
yellow.
72.
No yellow.
Krobach's gone around. No yellow just yet. But those 2 cars are spinning on the back stretch. Ooh, Alexander Pelican involved. Unfortunately for Krobach, he stopped and hit the inside wall. Still no caution, still racing here at Auto Club.
5 to go coming up.
Yep, 5 laps to go. And Mitch Brown, he's there on the high side. He's got the number 9 of Brandon Stokes right behind him. They're bump drafting down the front straightaway. As now the 92, Evan Black's close up on Haggerty. Evan Black and Haggerty have been players here throughout the race. Man, just a couple of laps ago, we were talking to Evan Black, and he fell all the way back to the 10th position, and now he's 3 wide for the race lead.
Yeah, Black is down that back straightaway, 3 wide for the top spot. Number 51 machine, Mitch Brown, getting pushed on the high side. Haggerty's the meat and the sandwich. There's contact there. This will end the race if it's a caution. Caution.
Caution is out. Man, they did everything they could to save it. Oh, the number 9's hard in the outside wall. Ooh. I'm not quite sure who's going to get this win. I think it's going to be Jason Stewart. We'll have to wait and see. They're still wrecking.
No way. Jason Stewart was the leader at the time of caution.
We'll have to see. I think he was.
He was 12th on that restart, and I just got done talking about him. Are you kidding me?
Brandon Stokes, that number 9 hard in that outside wall.
Yeah, look at that.
watch this one once again. It looked like the number 51
Contact.
came down on the 6,
Oh.
and it was on from there.
Oh, man.
And, oh, man. Ty Hester there in the 36 did a good... Oh, no, he got hit by Haggerty there.
There was only 2
And
guys
Rogers
in
in
that
the
deal.
02.
There's only 2 guys in that whole deal that did not, again, involved in this accident, and they were riding on the bottom. Oh, hard hit there.
And we have breaking news, because I thought the 1 had got this win, but iRacing has said otherwise. Because as everyone's shuffling around, here comes the number 51. We'll have to see where he slots in. Looks like he's going to slot in behind Jason Stewart maybe, but your current race leader, as we have 3 laps to go, is Evan Black. iRacing said he was at the front when that caution flag flew.
Are you kidding?
So it was oh so close for Jason Stewart to get the checkered flag. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, you know, if the post-race shuffles out that, you know, it was one of these drivers' fault for that yellow flag. I definitely don't think it was Evan Black's fault, but definitely Evan Black is being shown as your race leader here with only 3 laps to go under the yellow flag.
Wow. Holy moly.
Alex Giese, he's going to come home with the top 10, finishing. He's currently being shown in the 9th position. I don't know. Live timing and scoring is a little bit screwed up right now with just how things are shuffling around and how iRacing is, you know, showing different drivers at different points on the racetrack and so on and so forth. Jared Haggerty, unfortunately for him, he went from the race lead essentially back to the 26th position. That's going to be a hard blow for him. Of course, he lost that race win at Darlington just a few weeks ago. Let's see if we can watch this replay. I think we're going to be focusing on Danny Rogers here in the 02. Oh, nope, there's Michael Krobach in the 72. Let's see if we can see what happened to Krobach here.
I don't know if it's
nope,
Krobach,
here we go.
This is, yeah, right here. Well, this is the contact with Krobach. Krobach just got turned in the left rear quarter panel there, and it bounced into the 44 machine there as he spun towards the inside.
Oh, he almost had it saved.
He almost had it saved. He had that thing saved too. See, he got a contact from the 02 machine. Is he that, or is this arrow loose? I think there was contact right there. Yep, definitely right there. Yep. It just turned him around, and it bounced right into the 44 machine, who was just minding his business. And, oh man, Krobach, you had that thing saved. Oh.
And Alexander Pelican in that 44, he had a great race going as well.
He did.
There's a number 17 down there, Richard Stallings. He's actually still smoking as we have crossed the stripe. Only 2 laps to go. But, you know, with this package and with all these cars being so tight and close with one another, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out as this season continues.
Boy, I mean, this season was, I mean, technically right now, you're in the middle of the season of the ASRS Premier Cup Series. So with that being said, you know, you got a new rules package. It just totally changed the complexion of the racing out there on these big speedways. I mean, it kept everybody in one big giant pack. So, I mean, it just baffles my mind and how much of a change it really was. I mean, the next closest track that we're going to go to here in the Sim Marking Solutions Cup Series, I got to look at their schedule here to really confirm what I was reading earlier. They got Auto Club tonight. Next week's going to be Martinsville. That's just going to be our generic short track. But then you're going to go to the sister track. Well, yeah, okay, fine. It's historical short track racing there, production truck. But the following, on the 23rd, you're going to the sister track of Auto Club, which is Michigan. So you will see the similar racing that you're seeing tonight, except on Michigan. It's going to be crazy. How, I mean, I'm just going to be, it's just going to be wild and awesome, realistically.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, you know, with a track like Michigan that's higher banked than Auto Club, it's probably going to be even more crazy there. So definitely that's going to be one that you're going to want to tune in on here on 3 Wide TV. Well, white flag is in the air, and that number 92 will lead us around one more time. And, you know, we talked to Evan Black not too long ago, and it seemed like he got shuffled way back and got his way to the front just at the right time. And Jason Stewart, he's one of those drivers. I'm going to be really interested to hear what he has to say in his interview, because he was just biding his time way back at the back of the pack, and he worked his way up to the front at the right time. Going to come away with a second place finish tonight. Great run for him.
With all due respect to NASCAR and iRacing, I hate to say this, but this pack racing we've seen here tonight has reminded me so much of the old NASCAR video games, like NASCAR 2011, 2012, or NASCAR 15, 14, where the AI is kind of racing in a pack on a 1.5 mile track, or even Auto Club, for example. People hated that back then, but get your kazoo ready nonetheless, because Evan Black is going to come across the start-finish line, and he's going to be declared the winner of tonight's race here at Auto Club. Jason Stewart second and Mitch Brown third. Evan Black wins the race here at Auto Club under yellow flag conditions.
And that's Evan Black's first Cup Series win of the season. So great to see him in the win column.
Where's your kazoo, Carlos? Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, we got those good old kazoos here on 3 Wide TV.
I heard a dog squeak. Nonetheless, Evan Black's going to take the checkered flag. I bet he's happy about that. Started on pole, finishes the race in the first position. Jason Stewart, fastest in practice, and he did not take qualification time. He was in 27th, was not towards the front all night long. And he finishes in second place. And Mitch Brown, who's in the top 10 all night long, will finish in third after starting 12th. So with that being said, don't go away, because we're going to talk to those top 3 drivers. We're going to see Evan Black burn it down here at Auto Club and punch his ticket to the Hollywood, which is about 20 miles away from the Speedway, or 30 miles away from the Speedway at least.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Evan Black definitely got in the right spot at the right time, had things kind of fall his way there at the end, but nonetheless coming home with the checkered flag. That's, you know, great to see a new winner here. Led 14 laps here tonight. And definitely leading the most important lap when it matters right there at the end. Good donuts there by Evan Black. Celebrating this victory.
Yeah, what a way to get a win here tonight after starting on the pole. But he was not the fastest car. I don't even know who the fastest guy was. And that's how much that this new package has... I don't know how to really describe it. I mean, has changed things. You're not worried about who's the fastest guy on the track or who had the dominating car. I don't think there was a dominating car all race.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't. I mean, it was just a perpetual shuffle up at the front, which from a spectator perspective, it was really interesting and fun to watch. I'm sure some of these drivers, you know, would be a little bit frustrated with, you know, that not being able to assert themselves as the dominant force in this one, but nonetheless, it was a really exciting race to watch.
Well, let's bring up one of those drivers. Let's talk to third place driver here. As we got the third place driver, Mitch Brown. Mitch Brown, do you got a copy?
Yeah.
Mitch Brown, it was an up and down night here for you tonight at Auto Club, and a lot of crazy racing, a different kind of racing than we've ever seen here at the Auto Club Speedway. Mitch, you started 12th, you finished third. You're up and down the leaderboard at all night long. Tell me about your race overall.
Well, it was fine until that last wreck. I'll take blame. That was all my fault. I take blame for that entire wreck right there. I came down, but you know, I had to, you know, if I go in higher, you know, I just get pushed to the back and I lose 8 or 10 spots. So you know, I gotta do what I gotta do to stay up front. And you know, I guess I did a little too much, but no, the race was fine. Just an up and down day for us. I'm glad we finished third, but other than that, it was pretty okay.
Yeah, definitely. And now, with your experience here at Auto Club Speedway and this new package, what is your take on these new rules package that has been implemented in iRacing that's been practically a copy and paste to the real life stuff? What's your intake on that?
It's it's fun, but it's gonna take some time to get used to, because most for like I don't know how long we've had the low downforce package. We've had that for like a year or so. It's gonna take some time to get used to, and there's definitely gonna be a lot of more pack racing, especially on the big tracks and the 1.5 miles that have a lot of grip on it. But there's gonna be some races where we have a lot of cautions, and there's gonna be some races where we don't have a lot of caution. But I'm just gonna take it with a grain of salt and just take it race by race.
Yeah, absolutely. Take it race by race and learn every race. And speaking of learning, you're going to go to Martinsville Speedway in these cars next week with the new package. Do you expect that there might be a change in racing style with the package, or is it just going to be plain old Martinsville racing?
Nah, it's going to be the same. Plain old Martinsville. Short track, bumping and banging, hanging off each other's doors. It's going to definitely change the 1.5 mile race, I can tell you that. It's going to be much different than most people are going to expect. But I can't wait till Martinsville next week. It's a good track for us. It's in my wheelhouse, and I think we can get a good run there.
Well, hopefully you get a good run there. I was just going to lead my next question is, how do you feel about your chances in Martinsville? Do you think you can get a victory there since you've got some momentum building here after a third place finish here at Auto Club?
We're just going to take it lap by lap next week, but hopefully we can get a top 3 run next week.
All right, sounds great there, Mitch, and thanks for coming to talk with us this evening. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Just want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast each and every week. You guys do a really good job, and hopefully there's a good broadcast next.
Sounds great. I think you're going to enjoy. We're going to enjoy it up here in the booth. You're going to enjoy it in the car, and it's going to be a great broadcast to even enjoy overall. Thanks, Mitch Brown, for coming to talk with us, and we will see you at Martinsville next week.
Hey, thanks, guys.
That was Mitch Brown, who finishes 3rd here tonight, and I do believe Peter Short is catching up with Jason Stewart, who coulda, shoulda, woulda won the race after being fastest in practice.
Jason Stewart, Peter Short here in the 3-wide TV booth. Man, I'll tell you what, you had a up-down night, to say the least. It looks like you were pacing yourself early on, trying to stay out of trouble, and you worked your way up to the front, and you were probably about 3 feet away from winning this thing when the caution came out. Talk us through your night, talk us through your run up through the pack, and tell us about those last few laps.
Yeah, we started out back just because we knew it was going to be a few wrecks and trying to avoid them, and we knew we had a fast car. We were fastest in practice, and we worked our way up there and avoided the wreck there at the end, and it gave it back to the 92 somehow.
Yeah, I know all of us up in the booth, we were all saying, oh, Jason Stewart's won this race. And then out of nowhere, the number 92 crept up behind you. I guess iRacing was giving that spot to him. But definitely tonight was a very different race. I mean, we haven't seen this type of racing at Auto Club Speedway before. Are you a fan of this type of racing, or do you prefer the low downforce package?
I'm probably the only one that loves it. I mean, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Well, it was definitely a shuffle throughout the entire field all night long, and you were able to keep that number 1 Toyota nice and clean all the way to the end. But, definitely it sounded like it did lead to a few larger accidents, but, all in all, it was very, very fun and enjoyable to watch. And it sounds like you enjoyed it from the driver's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, to work your way through the field, you gotta drive the wheels off the damn thing, and that's fun doing. And the SMS Toyota Camry was fast enough.
You definitely showed that muscle up there at the end. If you did go green there to the end, do you think you would have had a shot at getting the W?
Well, I think I was the only one on 4 tires up in the front, so I think I could have hugged the bottom and started passing people if I had a little drafting help. I mean, I wanted to help my teammates, but they were up top. But this didn't work out.
Yeah, and just to speak to that point just a little bit, we did notice that tires did seem to matter a little bit here tonight. From your perspective, how much did they matter? And do you think that having 4 fresh tires is going to be a key thing on races similar to this one, or do you think you're going to be able to get away with 2 tires? What's your perspective on that?
When you get long green run, tires are going to matter. I mean, it's kind of weird. The left front was wearing more than anything, but I was saving tires, but it's just, you got about 15 laps on them, and then if you're saving, you're going to start blowing by people.
Well, definitely some interesting notes for this new package from Jason Stewart. Next week we go to Martinsville Speedway, totally different type of racetrack to this one, short track, half mile, bumping and banging, hard on the brakes. What are your thoughts about Martinsville?
That's a race you're going to want to be up front and stay up front. In the back, you'll be a long way to the front.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, Jason, any shout-outs that you'd like to give?
I would give a shout-out to Todd Kirkwood for sponsoring us with Sim Marketing Solutions and Lucas Oil, NRA. My teammates, Mitch, Jared, and Tim, especially Tim, who helped me out with the new wheel here. Seemed to work out tonight.
All right. Well, Jason, we appreciate you stopping by the 3-Way TV booth, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you next week at Martinsville.
Yep. Thanks for what you guys do. I enjoy watching the broadcast Wednesday.
All right. Well, definitely this week will be an exciting one to go back and rewatch with all the action that was here on this 2-mile racetrack. But definitely next week here on 3-Wide TV, Martinsville will be just as exciting. Thanks for stopping by, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, Tanner Sharp, he has caught up with Jared Haggerty.
I think I've caught up with Jared Haggerty here. And Jared, how you doing? This has been what happened towards that accident there, man? You were up there towards leading the race, and all of a sudden, carnage just ensues down turns 3 and 4. I bet you were kind of hoping that iRacing was kind of give you those positions back like it did to the race winner, Evan Black. Tell me about that before you got into it and all that carnage.
Well, first off, I got to thank everybody that was involved tonight. Dirty Bird Sim Racing, we did a hell of a job there throughout the whole night. Me and Ty were up there most of the night. I know Mitch was up there at the beginning and the end. I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm happy about it, but I mean, it's a racing deal, man. That's just how it is. And sometimes that stuff happens. And when you're going for the win, nothing you can do about it.
Well, that's actually a very good positive attitude to have for sure. But nonetheless, hey, Jared, I've seen you race, and I've actually raced with you here on iRacing before. What is your thoughts on this package here? I'm kind of asking about that all throughout the field here tonight, and plus Peter and Carlos. It just seemed like up here, it just seemed like it's more competitive. It just seems like it's a restricted plate track. A restricted plate racing on an Auto Club Speedway track, because we see more lead changes here than any other time I've ever seen at Auto Club. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, Tanner, you know me better probably than anybody here, but Super Speedway racing is how I come to the start here in any of the series that we used to run, and it felt like a Super Speedway, and that's right up my alley. And this package was just great for that type of racing. I was able to work my way up through the pack. It started 30th, and I was up to first by lap 38. So, I mean, I love the package personally. Again, not the result we wanted, but we're going to move forward, and we'll go on to the next race. I don't know where we're going, but we'll move forward.
Well, I can tell you where we're going, and we're going to Martinsville Speedway. Not sure if this package is going to play in effect at Martinsville, but how do you feel about your chances overall when we go to Martinsville next week?
Yeah, Martinsville, I'll probably qualify about 15th, maybe through 20th, probably. Not a big fan of Martinsville. I'm more of like a Richmond guy for that kind of type of short track racing, but well, it's just going to be about survival next week. So I'll just try to survive that and get through the end of the season and hopefully come away with maybe a win. Again, I want to thank everybody here from in the broadcast booth for putting on such a great show. I got to thank Jim, Sam, everybody involved for the league, putting on a great show. Again, everybody from Dirty Bird Sim Racing, all my sponsors, Sim Marketing Solutions. They were kind enough to come on board this year. Sheraton, Marriott, Cheerwine, all those guys. Thank you guys for coming on board with me this year, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of running for y'all at the end of the season.
All right, Jared. Well, unfortunately, it's not the night you hoped for, but you still had a great run, and hopefully you can carry on the momentum that you were having here and get a good finish next week at Martinsville Speedway. Best of luck, Jared.
Yeah, 10-4, guys. Have a good night.
That was Jared Haggerty, folks, who tonight finished in the, got to look on my list here, he finished in the 26th position, but Peter Short, you're down victory lane to catch up with Evan Black.
Evan Black, Peter Short here, and my oh my, we talked to you with probably about 15-20 laps to go, something like that, and you were up near the front, then all of a sudden you drifted way back, and there, right when the last caution came out, you worked your way up to the front, taking the checkered flag here at Auto Club. Talk us through those last 20 laps, because they were pretty eventful for you in the 92.
Yeah, I was running pretty good up there with Corey on that restart with 20 to go, and then I went to move to his outside. It didn't work out, and I got shuffled back to around 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere around there, and just somehow on that last restart I was able to get from 7th to 2nd in that first lap after the restart, and after that it was just right place, right time with Haggerty and Brown getting into it, and I really don't think I should have won that race. Stewart was ahead of me, I think, at the time of caution, but I'll take it.
Yeah, iRacing going back to those good old scoring loops, putting that number 92 out front, getting you the W tonight. But this is only your second ASRS victory here, and you know, it's our first win, or only our third winner on the Cup season, and your first win of the Cup season as well. So where does that place you now, looking forward?
Well, I know next week we go to the trucks at Martinsville, and I think after that we go to Cup cars at Martinsville. So Auto Club is really nothing like those tracks, but it always is nice to have a bit of confidence, especially coming into this race. This race was the biggest unknown I've really had going into any race with the new Cup package. No one really knew what it was going to be like and how important track position was going to be and how hard it was going to be to get by people. And I think it was actually a bit harder to get by people than we thought it would be.
Well, definitely you showed that track position was key, starting on the pole and getting the W here tonight. But definitely there was a lot of shuffling up at the front. It seemed like one car would lead about 5 laps and then would get shuffled out, and then another car would get to the front. It definitely seemed like a chess match from the point of view as a driver, but it made it really exciting to watch. But what are your thoughts about Martinsville next week? Martinsville's another really exciting track, and but definitely a lot different.
Yeah, Martinsville, I love that track, but my teammate Corey, he's always better than me there. He's one of the best drivers I've seen race there, so I'm going to have to get some tips from him, and hopefully with that we can go out there, feel pretty confident to go to the top 5, but kind of would like to get another win, make it 2 in a row, but it's going to be fun.
Well, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that next week. Can Evan Black take down Corey Silva at Martinsville? Well, you'll have to tune in next week to find out here on 3Y TV. But before we let you go, Evan, you got some shout-outs for us?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Fame Apparel, Rapid Fire Graphics, Primetime Racing TV, Primetime Racing, and I'd like to thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
Well, thank you very much for putting on such an exciting show, because that was a absolute spectacular race and a great way to bring in this new package to the ASRS SMS Cup Series. Well, Evan, we thank you for stopping by, and best of luck next week at Martinsville.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Tanner, that was an absolute spectacular race. I mean, like I said, there was just shuffling for the race lead almost every lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little leery on, like, these guys, like I said at the top of the show, they're going to take me to school on how to drive Auto Club with this new package. And tomorrow night, I'm going to be driving the Xfinity Series for this Impossible Racing League. So here at Auto Club, and they have relatively similar packages because they just got a new package as well. So it's going to be a learning curve for sure. I'm just curious on what I'm trying to figure out who we talked to earlier that said that it was Corey Silva, how to brake the air so they don't get a run on you. I'm gonna have to learn that. somehow, some way. Yeah, definitely, Carlos. But nonetheless, let's go over the unofficial results here. Evan Black. Carlos, she's still laughing like Chucky. Evan Black.
Let's just say our production truck says so you got to learn how to cut the cheese.
Yeah, and he's laughing like Chucky, which has got me going. Yeah, but anyways, Evan Black started on pole, finishes first. Jason Stewart in second after start 27th. Mitch Brown in third. Fourth place, Corey Silva. Great comeback for him. He actually fell back in the closing stages there. Kelsey Rogers finishes in fifth. Ty Hester in sixth. Will Worsler in seventh. Sam Maxwell, we didn't talk about him all race long. He gets a solid eighth place finish. Alex Giese, is that correct there, Peter?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, he started 32nd and he finished 9th. And Troy Haight rounding off the top 10 after starting 28th.
Yeah, we're slow learners here, Alex.
Yes.
So bear with us. Tyler Salvel coming home 11th position in the number 11 machine. Steve Buhala, after recovering, he had a trip through the grass earlier in the race and dropped way back with some damage, finishing 12th. Jim Foose, his teammate, they're finishing in 13th, and another one of those Jim Foose drivers finishing 14th, so 12th, 13th, and 14th for them. Calvin Miller finishing 15th. Edward Bray in the number 66, man, he battled all night long to come home with a 16th place finish. Jared Mogard also battled all night long with a heavily damaged race car to finish in 17th. Jeremy Banning 18th, Christopher Lane 19th, and Brandon Stokes rounds out your top 20.
And outside the top 20, you're going to have the blackjack position tonight, Danny Rogers after starting 5th. Jack Wells in 22nd. Alexander Pelican made his way all the way to the top 10. Unfortunately, he's got to settle for 23rd. Tim Knott, 24th. Clarence Bonner, 25th. 6th, and then you got 26th, Jared Harrigy, who we just recently talked to. Richard Stallings, 27th. Michael Krobach, 28th. 29th, Jonathan Holstein. And running all the top 30, Scott Smith.
In the 31st position, let's see if we can get these. See who I don't have my live timing and scoring up. There we go. Jimmy McKee finishing in the 31st position. Cody Leland 32nd. Alan Young 33rd. 34th Andy Veltman. 35th Kevin Sargent, and 36th Chris Forster. Your last place finisher tonight, Tanner. Man, that definitely sets up a great race for next week at Martinsville.
It most definitely does, and this was actually a really good race, probably the best as far as the racing out there is concerned, as far as this package delivers for the Premier Cup Series, California Dreamin 200, as we do move to Martinsville next week. But first off, before we do move to Martinsville, talk a little bit about that. We got some thanks to give. First off, thanks to Jim Foose and the ASRS for putting on such a great show every single week. Thank you to the series sponsor, the Sim Marketing Solutions. Thank you for sponsoring the Cup Series for ASRS. Hopefully, we see you guys on board in the future for sure. You got to give those guys a huge thank you for everything that they do for the league. Thanks also to Sam Maxwell Customs, Sim Marketing Solutions, Driven Designs, iRacing, Twitchy Race Reports, iRacingiFlag, Kirkwood Transportation, Coffman Racing Graphics. Thanks for sponsoring the league itself. That's what makes this league grow every single week, every time they're out there on the racetrack. And by the way, they are coming out on the racetrack once again next week, Tuesday night. Same time, same place. We are going to be at the smallest short track on the NASCAR circuit. It is Martinsville Speedway for the American Regardless 175. It is April 2nd at the same time, same place at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, we like to thank the team here tonight. We got Peter Short in the booth and Carlos Acosta. Thanks for everything you do, for all that camera button pushing that you do here tonight for us on 3 Wide TV. Thanks for the drivers who put on such a great performance here. So I'm Tanner Sharp, Peter Short, Carlos Acosta, and we'll see you at Martinsville next week, live here on 3 Wide TV.
See ya!